Hello everyone and welcome back to our Let's Play as Britain, where we're trying to get the armed forces to be as powerful as possible. Now, I did go a bit over the save after it's been almost a week, and I think what we're going to do in China is, first off, Nantong here, the treaty port. It's practically dead for its purposes at this point. We have a subject in China. We may as well feed that subject to get more subjects, so we are going to just give them Nantong. There's no point in holding on to it at this point. It's just going to create the Han national movement here. It's just going to keep causing problems. It's better to just give them the treaty port and help unify China under their banner, which, of course, we are going to make them a puppet as well. Now, we are going to keep their interest payments reduced because I don't want this to get very destabilized. It's already going to be pretty unstable to begin with. But they have a sizable army on their own relative to ours, which reminds me, may as well grow the army for other reasons other than just feeding the armed forces with more strength. We actually kind of need to make sure that our subjects don't get stronger than us to the point where they'll all just revolt because, hey, we're like 15 times stronger than you, so... that is something I was considering while going over all of our little statistics here. The 12th British... Oh, God, they renamed all the British fleets. I probably should have renamed those before continuing, but too little, too late. We're just going to live with it. I would like to... I mean, I guess we could just conquer state. I was going to say make them a protectorate and then steal the states, but our cost is pretty low. We already have a lot of infamy generation reduction against recognized powers. And depending on the technologies we do, we already have civilizing mission, in fact, so there's not a lot of threat when it comes to that. Reinforced concrete lets us get the skyscraper. I'm not sure what technologies we'll want afterwards. It's 1868, and of course Britain tends to be pretty ahead. I would like to get human rights just to improve the schools further. We don't need socialism, but we could use it to rip apart the fabric of the current civilized societies. More seriously, we are going to switch from tenant farmers to commercialized agriculture. I know that gives the petite bourgeoisie and trade unions the rule pops to recruit. That's fine. I just want to mess the landowners up because that's giving them clout. So, you know, we got to make it to where they're irrelevant. And we need to switch away from national militia at some point. Or, sorry, National Guard, sorry, at some point, and get to the secret police. But that is not possible while the radicals and liberals have sway over the country. And they have substantial sway. So we may have to remove some of our authority at some point to suppress them. That being said, currently there are 62 million English people globally in the game, and most of them are actually in India. So, although it might feel wasteful to what we could be using this authority for, we are causing millions of new English pops to exist, which may help the Raj stabilize over time. It'll still be pretty unstable. The only difference is just... Oh. Oh, right, the treaty port. I was like, what'd I do? What'd I break? It will help them stabilize a little in the sense that they have less violently discriminated pops there, which will give them a bit of stability compared to just everyone hates you. Oh, yeah, that's right. I forgot. We need to embargo the U.S. for our lobby demand, which we may as well. They already hate us to begin with. Mexico's our subject, so, you know, why not? Do we have, I forgot to check, an army down here? The Corps of Royal Marines, actually, who can basically double as an invasion force. Excellent. So, the Shanxi clique. I don't think I have any... Yeah, we have no interest in northern China, so... I have to get some of the Navy over there. Which, yes, that's... I was going to say, why don't we have the Navy over here? That's because we were modernizing some of the ships, so they actually have speed to get over to various places. We also have the Suez Canal established, and we also have early ironclads being built. Are they building any more ironclads for this Navy, or is it just empty? It's just empty, okay. The one problem while being at peace is having to go through all of this and find them and combine them. So what we should also do, and yes, we mentioned it before, but I was designing the monitor instead of the early ironclad for the template. That was terrible. That was just terrible of me. 25% hull attack damage. That's going to put you pretty high, isn't it? 125% of 150, yeah. Sure, why not? They're just small ships. They're easy to build. But like 25 of them. We'll rule the waves and all that good stuff. Lobbyist lecturers. Hey! Messes up the landed gentry and gives us more legitimacy, so why not? We do have a small bureaucratic deficit as well, which isn't grossly concerning, but it is causing us to lose almost 3% of our tax and government dividends, which are substantial right now since we've decided to not privatize it all for this run. It's one of several things that have been suggested to me, is to not privatize and to just keep government control over it, so that half of the dividends will just go straight to the reinvestment pool. You can see Glassworks here making almost as much as the manor houses, and the tool workshops are right behind it. Add on the food industries, and these three together are making almost as much as our financial districts. Because what happens under government control is half of the dividends that are generated by buildings owned by the government will go straight to the reinvestment pool. The other half goes to government dividends, which is then modified by your dividends efficiency. Also, having less capitalists and aristocrats would be good for our preparations to begin with. Night of Waves. Singapore. Yes, tsunami conditions. Very fun. As if we weren't about to devastate the Guangxi clique enough. We're practically out of infamy at this point, so let's just... Oh, you know what I could do? And I probably should have done it. I could just have them conquer it instead. It doesn't matter. We'll just give it to them. That's going to put us to 41 infamy. So plus 40 infamy. That's fine. Some nations, like, yes, Sweden are going to withdraw, but our subjects won't be too upset. The Germans don't care. The French already hate us. Which is nothing new. The French already hated us to begin with. Let's take off Australia, because that's not going to happen. Because at this point, we're waiting for Australia to just colonize, and that's going to take them decades, because they don't have pops to colonize with. Denmark is now a subject of the German Empire. I wanted to reflexively say British Empire, but evidently that is not what has happened at all. Sure, Argentina, why not? That reminds me, we can pull more people into the power block, whether they want it or not. And of course, we can then see if there's any that we can subjugate. Not yet. Too early. It's too early. I could let the private pool do all the construction. That would certainly free up funds for other things. Oh, yes. That reminds me. I forgot about this, but upgrading the fortifications production method does change officers to servicemen here. Same thing with training methods, so we do actually need to grab military statistics at some point. But getting more of our pops to be working pops would be good too. We're not going to try to maximize our birth rate growth or anything like that. That's what India is for. Yeah, I mean, we are turning them all into our primary culture. I'm clicking a bunch of different options, forgive me. I don't mean to be clicking some of this, it's just kind of happening. So we'll just, we'll have to learn to live with that for now. I assure you, everything is fine. Everything is under control. The Queen is no longer in power. And hopefully that'll lead to the armed forces being stronger. They actually just got weaker, but I'm pretty sure that's because some of the servicemen are off dying in a war. And then obviously the officers in the naval fortifications just had their standard of living fall because soldiers who were like 10 levels below them just joined their little group. I also know that because of the previous company control we had, some of our steelworks are controlled by the wrong company now. If we want to fix that, we're going to have to privatize a lot of them, and it would be a bit of a mess. We could do that off camera at a later date, because I am not going to do that right now. We are going to just live with it. Go to Brazil. Why not? Go off their coastlines. Ooh, I do like vertically integrated agriculture. Thank you, yes. That's very nice. Also, the Beiyang modernist revolt has been starving out Chongqing and other places for a while now. A 6-year famine is pretty bad. It's basically caused 1 million casualties and 1 million unrealized births. So at this point, the state is like roughly half the population it would otherwise be. Oh, Russia's declaring war on us. Fantastic. So, are they going to target Circassia then? I know they're targeting the Ionian Islands. We should be able to pull the Germans into this war, actually. So I need to make sure we have a navy nearby that can transport ships. I know we just moved you down here, but you have all the extra supplies, so I need you to come up here and actually help us move. So, the question now is, what do we do? What do we want to take? I could seize the Russian-American company and just give it to Canada. Just kind of annex it and give it to Canada. That's not really worth it, though. I think it'd be more worthwhile to steal Finland. if Sweden wasn't antagonistic, and I could guarantee that we can go through the strait just fine. There is freeing the rest of Circassia and giving that to them. That would just complete their journal entry. It wouldn't really do anything too favorable to them. We could also just humiliate the Russians, because why not? Yes, actually, let's pop on a humiliate, and then let's see who we can pull in first. Oh, okay, Circassia. Because they're actually pretty fearful to begin with here. We could probably pull in several. Oh, I can't call you. Don't want to join. Okay. Oh, wow. Neither of our allies want to join. Why is that? Ideological difference. Oh, yeah. Ideological differences of government is probably why. Even though we are defensive allies and I'm being attacked. I see how it is. I see how it is. Unfortunately, this means I can't grant our little warlord state those states right now because we're in the middle of a war. We could just try to get them to back down, actually. Hang on. Let's say we are going to steal the Russian-American company from you if you don't back down. And let's say we're also going to liberate Ukraine. And just because it's a big area, usually liberating it hurts Russia to some extent. Ooh, does the Far East... It does. That would be a good liberation goal, too. Why not? We're going to map paint a little in a very atrocious way. I apologize in advance. If we liberate Poland, that could be funny, because they'll start causing discontent with the Poles in Austria and Germany. Yeah, that would be funny. That would be funny. And for our final war goal, because I don't think we're actually going to get the landing to liberate any of this, but we're going to go ahead and try. Ooh, you don't have... actually... Yeah, make someone from the armed forces in charge. That would be a lot better. How much carrying capacity do you have? 26. You're our older ships, then. I know we were going to use you against the enemy, but I need to reorient yourself here. Do we have this blocked for enemies? We do. That's good. I had to make sure that that was blocked. Well, I'll let the private investment pool take over here for a bit. I just noticed... Our supply ships really can't handle this many. Oh yeah, the Corps of Royal Marines is just eating up thousands. Okay, Bulgaria backs down. Oh, they're an Austrian protectorate now. All right. Let's actually demobilize you. I don't think that's going to free up supply. I'll probably have to bring the core home at this point. Yeah. So you are going to blockade, and we might just double blockade here. Because how much blockade strength do you have? You're kind of our older ship model, so if you die, it's fine. It's just, hey, you're using the older ships? Yeah, it's okay if you sink. Don't worry about it. We'll write home to your friends and family. We actually don't have enough naval personnel for all of this. Oh, you know what? I'm not building anything. I can just do this. And then these guys, I don't think... I would like to use the Corps of Royal Marines for the invasion, actually. But we just demobilized them for another 51 days. So, the American Army. Actually, no, keep the American Army there. Bring the Mediterranean Army home. Air quotes home. British Raj. They keep requesting this, and I keep considering it. But a lot of their stuff is best... I mean, the Great Indian Peninsula Railway is not a bad option. But I'd rather maintain heavy control over everything. I want to keep them an extraction economy, too. And I'd love to get freedom of conscience, but their interest groups will basically commit a revolt if I dare to try to implement such a thing. So that's not happening. No migration controls would be good. And the government of India does actually support that, so that would be relatively easy to pass. They do have a modernist movement. Sorry, modernization movement. That's pretty upset. What law did... Sorry, there was a law I wanted to do now that we have commercialized agriculture. I guess compulsory education, but no one really supports that. We've lost our reformers. They're kind of led by radicals and market liberals now. Fun chaps, I know. They're very, very friendly, as you can tell. See, I don't want to boost the liberal movement. Is there actually a armed forces guy who is a liberal? Okay, well, this is off to a fantastic start. What about paper? I know steel is expensive, though. Glass is actually really high up thanks to our switches in construction. So what I could do is just invest really hard into glass. Just keep in mind we actually can't eat glass. Please don't try to eat the glass. That would be very problematic. We do not cover dental. Not yet, at least. That'll come in a couple of decades. But right now we don't cover dental, so. You know, the public health system is only partially established. We're not up there at level 5 yet. That's when you'll get your dental insurance. Have we switched all of it over to circular administration, industrial ports? We're not trying to use all this paper. We are, actually. We haven't switched everything over to steel frames, but we switched almost all of it to steel frames, so we might as well just use it all at that point. I'm guessing, yeah, the Army of the Med has no supply. Okay, so let's not do this then. Where do I go to cancel the invasion again? That's the wrong... This one, here it is. So let's... Yeah, I mean, bringing them to the German Empire is not what I had in mind, but, you know, sure. Yeah, go ahead. Is this a battle favoring us, or is this transports? This is transports, okay. So let's do this. Try to kill their ships that are destroying our ships. Try to kill the Russian Navy. There's a third of starving pops here in... Weird. Oh, why are you not... Oh! I'm so sorry. My brain is still on the older version of the game. I keep forgetting they've added additional C nodes, like the Gulf of Finland is its own C node now. So to blockade that port, I actually have to... The Pamir Delimitation. Oh, is Afghanistan formed? Ah... So, southeastern border. Oh, right, I can only do one of these. Okay. I don't think Afghanistan's going to agree to this. They have little reason to agree to it. Yeah, I figured. And now it unlocks new things where you can offer compensation. So let's partition it again. Doesn't say it would actually offer anything. Which is weird. I feel like we would actually offer something, but... we'll see. We'll offer it again. I've rarely gotten to do this journal entry, because usually it doesn't happen. Okay, it looks like... Yes, they agreed to it this time and gave us territory. Sweet, so... Now the Raj has even more land to deal with. I can't see that breaking things down at all. Oh, we pay 1K a week every week. For 2 years. I mean, I guess their economy is small enough to afford that at a good rate, but I feel like they've just been insulted more than anything, you know? Blockade efficiency is 0, presence below 50% threshold. Okay. So I think it's because we need to remove this mission, but I haven't learned how to do that very well, so I'm just gonna realize that I need to move in a different navy. Yeah, I haven't quite figured out how to remove them yet. It's probably something very simple, but I've just kind of overlooked it. Oh. There you go, problem solved already. It really was just that simple. Armed Forces. Probably don't want to promote you too much just yet. Corps of Royal Marines still has no supply. Are you guys supplied at least? No. Yeah, I think we need to just build a lot more shipyards if we can actually afford to. I know we're subsidizing them at this point, so they're actually losing us money. We are losing a lot of money just in general right now. But we need to build a lot of supply ships. And that's actually costing us over almost 150K in just ship construction. More supply ships? More supply ships. Well, having them sink our supply ships doesn't help in the slightest. Argentina wishes to join the British Empire. I don't know if you want to be doing that, bud, but sure. The good news is that we're fully blockading their capital, which is also their market capital, so their world market access has just tanked. All of their markets are starting to fail now. They're pretty much at a fraction of what they were trading. I don't think that's going to hurt the Russian economy that badly. But they seem to be having starvation issues to begin with, which is probably unrelated to what we're doing. But I like to think we caused it. Even though I have no way to prove that. The Patriotic Party. Who is formed in that? Oh, the bourgeoisie, that's... Oh, no, the armed forces are planning to form the Patriotic Party. Because the petite bourgeoisie left their party due to a change. So now that they're currently powerful. I don't think that's going to last, personally speaking. I don't see that lasting. Maybe it will. Maybe it will. But I genuinely don't see it lasting in the long run. Who is most likely to take over right now? I assume a Republican. Oh, an ethno-nationalist. Fantastic. You know, they might be an ethno-nationalist, or they might be a moderate. It's really hard to tell. They could go either way. Jesus Christ. So they could be a moderate and not care, or they could want to kick everyone out who's not Scottish or English. This is a very, very weird proposal you've given us. We also need to add the rule of folk to the government temporarily, because we've kind of fallen. Yeah, that's about what I expected. Oh, actually, 22% is not bad. I mean, it's only 7% of projected votes, but... Oh, yeah, sorry. I was looking at momentum. I was wondering what I was looking at here. Okay, so the Midlands rail infrastructure suffers now, which, yep, figured. I love election events. Very much love them. Sanctity of marriage must be protected. Anything that will sabotage the party that does not have the armed forces in it. So, have we built all of our fortifications in the mainland? We have. You know what I think we need, though? Maybe more sailors. Maybe we need more sailors. I mean, yes, 14% of the capital is already servicemen, but can you really not have enough servicemen? I don't think so. Are they actually at the wealth to vote? They are not. I think you need to be at wealth 20, right? Yes, for wealth voting, you need to be at level 20. Well, we're already paying them very very high wages. The only way that can go up at this point is if the average wage in the country goes up, and whether that is going to happen is a completely different matter. But I like to think it will. Okay, we can give women better rights now, which is probably good. Let's probably grab military statistics here. It doesn't tell you on it anymore. It used to, but I guess the tooltip broke. But if you change the production method here, it will change the employment. So you see how we have 1.71k officers now? If I switch to general training, now it's 2.85k. It does change them. That's probably going to mess their standard of living up a little. But we'll go ahead and grab that next, because then we can get more officers. Officers have better clout. That's going to give the armed forces more power. We're going to keep paying them very good wages. I'm going to cry in a corner, because the Finance Bureau tells me that we're going to run in the red for the rest of eternity. Whatever gives them momentum. Whatever gives them momentum, even if the guy's just terrible. Expensive tastes, arrogant, hedonist, well... kind of a net negative, actually. For 10% momentum. Honestly, probably better to go with the guy that's ambitious. Although I don't think this guy will last long anyway. Actually, let's wait and see the end of the election results before we start trying to pass a new law. Because chances are the new law won't do well with the government that forms. Okay, good. We have supply ships again. Can you both? No, it has to be you. Okay. So, I don't think you're going to succeed in this invasion. And I know that's going to end our blockade there. But we do have to try. Alright, who's in charge now? The bourgeoisie, I assume. Oh, an ethno-nationalist. So, really quickly, who would support giving women rights? Basically no one. Okay, sure, yeah, why not? Yeah, that sounds perfectly reasonable to me. I can't think of any issues that would arise from that at a later point in time. Now they want to join the Whig Party because their party didn't do good enough and they're led by a liberal. Okay, sure. You people are weird. That does give us the Our Nation, Our Culture journal entry, which is effectively a journal entry establishing ethno-nationalism. To be honest, all we need to do in order to finish it is to have an ethno-state, but national myths will just make it to where you can either make it to where your interest groups will have a higher chance of picking ethno-nationalists, or they'll have a higher chance of picking ethno-nationalists, fascists, and traditionalists. So, not really much of a difference between the two. I also see, yeah, we have a huge revolt. Wow, that is a huge revolt. I knew they were having revolt issues when we last checked, but that is a huge revolt. Although they're as disorganized as our own troops are, so I guess there's not really much of a difference between the two. And this is because they couldn't get access to any supplies at all. They don't have any ships. So what we should probably actually do is just fortify. We technically have more offense than their defense. British puppet, annex. Well, I would rather keep them as a puppet. So Hawaii is now our subject state. And wait, they're winning? Wait, why do they only have 3 people guarding this? What about the 288,000 sitting in the HQ? What? I don't think the AI, either they're luring us in to kill us, or the AI doesn't know what's going on and is about to have a very rude awakening. I like to think it's the former, because that means the AI is trying to ambush us. Oh, we're not funding railways? We're funding some railways. That explains a lot. I like to think they're trying to lure us into a trap, but the reality is probably way more disappointing than that. They're probably not trying to lure us into anything. They just don't understand what's going on. And now we have to fortify and hope to God they don't kill us. We will, of course, bring reinforcements in. That's the whole point in having an army at home. On the off chance, we need to immediately bring tens of thousands of Britishmen into Russia. And then I do need to make sure they're actually on defend front and not attack. Ooh, we do have good defense, though. So, yeah, now that we have the extra 60,000 troops here, as long as we can keep the supply line stabilized, which I think we can. What happened to the Navy? Oh, I guess their Navy is hiding now. Yeah. He's just sitting over there. While we blockade their coastlines. Sure, Mr. Han movement, right? Why not? You can be upset. What could go wrong? Okay, they have some supplies now since we had them get focused for supplies. I know I'm kind of letting the private pool take construction over periodically here. That just kind of balances out the finances. Plus, I don't want to be pausing the game every 5 seconds to build more stuff. That doesn't sound like it would be particularly fun or interesting, so we're kind of messing around with it. We're letting it go a bit here and then stopping it, and then going and stopping it. I feel like the Navy could use more ships. The Corps of Royal Marines is technically missing Marines now because of casualties, but that's fine. Don't worry about it. They knew what they were signing up for when they went to die. Except for the part where we didn't tell them where they were going to be deployed to, but, you know, by the time they read the fine print, it was already too late to send them back. It's such a shame. And now they have to keep stability way over there. What is this? Is the U.S. just, like, trying to puppet Italy? Is that what's going on here? I guess. I guess that's what they're trying to do. Do I want to fight the U.S. while fighting Russia? Not really. Unless they're willing to become my subject, then I might. No. Okay, well. We're just gonna focus on beating Russia up, then. And how is the Raj doing with its laws? Oh, your Modernist Revolt's not angry anymore. Because you're enacting free trade. Well, that's fine. That doesn't really change anything for them. The armed forces flip to an ethno-nationalist. We are going to be in for a bad time. Because that may be the pressure point that gets them over the edge. The industrialists have a lot of clout. I guess, yeah, wait. Oh, right, the gentlewoman Victoria of Hanover. Oh, yeah, that's right. I guess they don't get deleted and murdered once you kick them out of government now, unless there's specifically a murder event. So Victoria still exists, actually. We can exile her. We could exile her and then invite her back and see what stance she gets. Oh, interesting. You know what? I'm very tempted to see this because we've never gotten to see that before. So let's do that. She is now a radical. Victoria of Hanover now believes in a parliamentary republic. And I'm going to regret this, but we're going to invite her back from exile because I think that's just really funny. So Victoria of Hanover is now an agitating radical who believes in parliamentary government and advocates to not return to the monarchy that she was deposed from. That is just silly at this point. Oh god, what tech do we want? What tech do we want? Honestly, these are all good techs. I guess we need more military tech. Junicole, what does this give us? It does give political strength for officers, but I think, doesn't the capital fleet give more? It does, by 10%. So that doesn't really help. We could get modern ironclads, or could research anarchism to throw ourselves into a bit of a whirlwind. For fun. More importantly, I'm just going to grab Zeppelins now. But that's really funny. She's a radical now. Is she still called the Gentlewoman of Hanover? Or just Victoria? Just Victoria of Hanover now because she's a radical. She doesn't own land. She actually lost all her land. It would have been better to keep her as the Gentlewoman, but I wanted to see what would happen if she was kicked out. Oh, it can't be that bad, right? We have a lot of... Communist movement did form, but I assume policing and home affairs, yeah. I mean, how strong could it be? 9%, yeah. Not that strong. A lot of our pops... Well, our standard of living did collapse because we added a bunch of Han territory, but we intend to give that up later. I actually can forego humiliating Russia. They're already going to be humiliated anyway. Yes, I know, we have border going in the Black Sea now. It looks awful, but we did just hurt Russia a fair bit. Not only did they lose the Russian-American company, but the areas like Ukraine, Belarus, and Poland, that is a couple million points in GDP lost. And for Russia, a couple million GDP is a substantial amount. And now, before I forget, I do need to actually, not trade states. Where's Overlord? I need to grant states. Because we don't want to keep controlling this at all. It's also a good way to get them on our side. I noticed you're not called a clique anymore. Is that because you're a puppet? Oh, you're autocratic. That could also be it, but I doubt that's the reason. Ooh, extraction economy? That would be fun. The landowners don't like it, though. They also don't like the idea of getting off serfdom, I assume. Yeah. Closed borders, migration controls. I doubt they'd switch to extraction economy, but we'll just try it for the fun of it. They do get a 10% success chance just because they're enacting something we're pressuring them to. So that's good. It also removes several of the national rights movements for culture and religion. So we at least don't have to deal with that anymore. We are going to eventually turn all of this into subject states as well, but we need to colonize a lot of it ourselves first. And unsurprisingly, our GDP dropped because we just gave up tens of millions of pops. The Great Eastern Crisis should finish without incident. I'm not going to track that anymore. Confederate Canada, I don't think we need to track anymore either. It's just down to them colonizing, which they're, they can technically do now, but they're pretty bad at it, I guess. South Peru. I guess they technically exist still, don't they? Let's subjugate Chile. So they are our subject now with several million GDP points. Reinvestment pool's doing fine. Okay, Spectre Haunting the World is technically gaining progress because the socialist movement also exists. Between them, that's what, 18% of the population for now? It probably won't last. We're actually going to just close that for a bit here. This is so... It's just funny to me that Victoria is now a radical. She was removed from the monarchy and decided that if she can't have the crown, by God, no one can. There won't be another British monarchy as long as she's here. She's going to make damn sure of that. Let's actually go ahead and start using water tube boiler and everything else. We do have automatic irrigation that we may as well utilize. And the steam donkey so I can build more motor industries. But the primary reason isn't so I can build more motor industries, but it's just so we have more unemployed pops to utilize. Or if I could just get pops to migrate to us from the Raj, that would be good. But I don't think they're going to migrate. There are a lot of English pops now, yes. But a lot of those English pops follow a religion that is not Protestant. Although they're still our primary cultural, so they should be able to get over here. We could probably attract them if we tried. And that... See, this is going to hurt manufacturing, but let's try. Let's see if we can bolster it and force attraction from there. I don't think we can. It's actually ongoing emigration, too. We have a lot of different pops here. Does this work to actually bring them in? British Ceylon, Yorkshire, Wales, Guyana. No, that's not it. Lowlands, East Anglia. Oh, it's all the Danes migrating over here. Okay, that's fair. I wonder, are they just not able to migrate? They should be able to. Or are they, probably a lot of them are peasants and they can't migrate because of serfdom? No, they're on-tenant farmers. I don't know then. Maybe they just don't care. It could be they just don't want to emigrate. That's also possible. I mean, you're Bengali, so I guess you wouldn't want to anyway. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, I think it just said William of Hanover has died. I read something about William, but I didn't get to see the rest of it. Where's the skyscraper? There it is. So... Yeah, these are all the areas that have coal as well, right? So we may as well build those up, seeing as we have coal demand. I think given enough time, we can get them to migrate over here. We probably just need a better standard of living than we already have. It could be that it's just not high enough to bring them. It could also just be it's India and they hate us. Because I'm noticing they don't seem to have any migration going on over here. Which puzzles me a little. I don't think it's because they're a colony, but I guess I could also just not be remembering something. That's okay, though. Oh yeah, the Hunan clique we could go ahead and kill now, I believe. Especially since our Marines have some actual supplies over here. And I don't think... I would have to annex you, right? Yeah, so let's... Oh, right, I forgot we liberated the Far East, too. So Russia has just lost all access to ports over here. They have to go through the tolls. Well, they technically have the Barents Sea access point. Although that's frozen year-round in the winter. Not that the game models that, so they don't have an issue. Could model that, though, if they really wanted to. No, I don't think they should. I don't know if that would work well. We could do a social monarchy. Now, I know it says it would unlock the Bakufu law and the distribution of power. That is a lie, unless you're playing as Japan. If you're playing as Japan, then yes, it will. But if you're not playing as Japan, then no, it will not. I know this from testing. Presuming they don't change it in the future. And I don't see a reason for them to change it, so... yeah, they won't. Can we make craftsman sewing? Would this actually be good now? It would be good. We have enough rich people. Well, rich, air quotes. So, you're not doing great on your own at this point. Oh, you know what? I probably got screamed at it at some point. We never switched to advanced tactics training. Despite unlocking it. So, an example here, 2.85 officers becomes 5.7 officers. It quite literally will double the number of officers we're getting from all the barracks. I don't expect that to boost them too much in the clout. This will fall temporarily because of their sudden loss in strength. But that does mean we have more officers, and those officers can actually vote in elections, which is good. A little warlord state's coming along nicely as well. You know what? I don't need to tax these anymore. The luxuries, we don't need to tax them as much. I do need more pops though. And at first I was just going to invest into more manufacturing because I thought that was a good idea. Just boost our manufacturing, get our stuff up. But I am now of the opinion that I don't have enough pops and I need more pops and I need to drag them in from wherever I can. Okay, so the Ottomans stayed stable, which is good for us because they are our allies. Oh, there we go. I don't know how we got it now, but we are actually seeing a bit of emigration from some of the territory. Now, the question is this actually English? The answer is maybe. I do see in Midlands, it does seem to be normal, and I think, what, it said Wales as well? That does seem to be English. I'm pretty certain it'll be the English thing because of our migration controls. And it could be a lot of pops right now that are English, just like where they're living. The Bengals are obsessed with fruit. Is that always the case? I don't think that's always the case, but I actually don't know. I would have to load a new game and check. We are getting various pop migrations, which is nice. Oh, why do we have more authority now? Did you get political... No, by all means, you haven't done anything. Okay, well, I don't mind. Oh, wait, could it be... Authority? The authority switched somewhere. Well, I guess I didn't switch anywhere then. What are the population numbers over here? 10 million there. 12 million here, but I think we're already doing it there, aren't we? Yeah. I have to check this way. It's kind of the only way to get it to work, quote unquote, because of how we're doing it. So we'll go ahead and do those areas as well. That'll start giving it English pops there too. It'll take a few ticks before it actually starts. Although, oh, you know what? They have debt slavery too, right? And all those pops are enslaved. Those pops can't actually migrate anywhere. Right. I don't think we have the clout to ban. Oh! We'll try anyway. Is this about Mexico? I assume this is about Mexico. This is about Mexico, yeah. Well, we knew that was going to happen at some point. Let's take Texas back then for the Mexicans. We do have Brooklyn still. We could try to steal the papacy, but I want to try to avoid going over 50. So let's humiliate the U.S. instead. And then, of course, this is exactly why we've kept an entire contingent of our forces all the way over in the U.S. Let's actually send the Home Guard because that one doesn't have any org right now and it's going to take time for it to get back. I need you guys to go over here and start blockading. Ports bombardment would be fun too, but let's actually focus on the blockade, please. Let's not kill people too drastically here, okay? It's all right if you bombard them a little, just don't go overboard. You know? We'll also go ahead and start building up India because we need the hardwood for various ship construction for more supply ships. I don't know if we actually need the wood itself right now. I don't think that's very profitable. Yeah, it is above the base, so sure. Invest into India a bit, make it a bit more stable. Oh, the game does not like things today. I genuinely could not tell you why. And then, how are we doing government dividends-wise? Glassworks are making a good amount. We've also built the skyscraper, which I think we'll leave on the bureaucratic setting this time. We are doing trades, but I'm not really heavily investing into trade. Although trade with the German Empire is good. You know what? We'll do the trade nexus, because that does affect every trade nexus. I could have done more to harm the U.S. beyond taking Texas back. But I figured we didn't want to go too overboard just yet. And if we've got this event now, that means... Yes, it does. So we'll take off that medical support, first aid, switch it to field hospitals instead. May as well give them luxurious supplies now. That does mean technically the army over here can't fight because it doesn't have the organization. Why does it try to go all the way over here to drop off the army when it can just go over here? Is it because they don't own Texas or something? I don't know. I genuinely couldn't tell you why it does that. Because I do not have any clue as to why. Ooh, does that give us training method streamlining? You know what? Sure, that'll give us even more officers who currently have 7.3% of the total clout now. So, you know, the more officers we have, the better. Is that too many armies over there at once? Probably. So let's bring one of the navies home. Just free up resources a little. And 30% offense. Oh, you know what? This would have been a good time to completely destroy the Americans. We can always ravage their fields and salt them. That'll work for now. Give me the loan interest rate reduction. I don't want to benefit them too much. The trade union are led by a communist now. How incredible. It's unfortunate for them that it won't work out. The Whig Party is the one I want to benefit, but I don't want to mess my... You know what? Actually, sure. We'll mess with our legitimacy a little. Why not? Wait, the landed gentry and the armed forces are leading the Whig part, or the P little party. Is that what it's called? No, it's the Whig Party. I was looking at the wrong one. Wait. So I either have to give them census suffrage, which I don't want to do, or pass ethnostate, which I don't want to do. So now I'm just at, what, minus 15 legitimacy? Jesus, this is a nightmare. What is happening? Run an interception mission. I don't think we'll get them, but we'll try. Oh, it's the papacy ships. I thought those were American ships. Close enough, I guess, right? But I really don't want to enact ethnostate because there's a lot of minorities in the country, like 22.6% Irish. We could try to convert the Irish over time, actually. That is an option. Yeah, see, I figured extraction economy would fail, but you cannot fault me for trying. So, we did try, that's for sure. They're trying to enforce the caste system now? Yeah, I'm not too surprised by that, actually. Given the state of affairs over there. It's pretty unsurprising when you think about it. Ooh, they're making a lot of hardwood for us. That has actually dropped our ship construction costs substantially. So I think now's a good time to build more ships for no reason. Okay, what is happening over here? There's a big war going on. All of this for a piece of Bulgaria. Well, they say they won't be friends anytime soon. Anything to remove the Irish national movement. Or weaken it. Oh, they backed down. That works too. I think at the rate this war goes, eventually the US would probably go bankrupt, right? Yeah, they're already at +9 for loans. It'll probably take time for that to build up, though, but they're definitely not having a good day. I can't demobilize you, can I? No. Can I just delete you? Yes, that would be best. Who is invading? Oh, a Russian uprising started in the Far East. I didn't even notice. Incredible things are happening. And the Far East radical revolt at the same time. So Russia is going to get some of that territory back. They're also invading China to open its market. Well, part of China to open that part. Which may sound confusing. Don't worry about it. Don't even think about it. It's okay. You don't need to consider anything regarding it. Oh, you know, we could destroy the industrialists by buying out a bunch of their buildings. To deal with the fact that they're getting more and more of the clout. Although it would also help if our army stopped dying in wars, but I don't consider that happening. I forgot to switch them over to offense. How are we running out of steamers? Oh! Wait, how did you land? Wait, I'm very curious. How did they land? That's my fault for not paying attention, I guess. See, this is what happens when you don't set up your navy. You're the 12th British Fleet? I actually didn't even know they had a navy to land with. 30 ships. Where are they, though? Southern Europe HQ. Oh, they're based over here. That's why I didn't see them. I also see we only now finally caught their navy. Or the papacy's navy. That could technically cause us to lose the war. What's really going to do is cause a lot of chaos and suffering. So we'll have to raid their supply lines now. Although it won't be too bad because it looks like the army they have over... Oh, it's only 8 troops. That's why they were able to land so easily because there was no one over here. See, that's good for them, except for the part where... Why do you still need supply at the... Oh, because your base is in the Mediterranean. Your base is in the Med, right? I don't think I understand how that works very well, but okay. Do they have no, like, people now, or what's happening there? Oh, I guess they just don't have anyone. Or, wait. Wait, how did the 19th American Army get over here? Wait a minute. Wait, did the Americans just teleport an entire army into Britain? Because that's way too many troops for them to have. There's no... I think the Americans just teleported an army into Britain. Because that's 142 battalions and they have 30 ships at most. And their largest fleet is capable of carrying 20 battalions. We already have Texas, so at the rate this is going, we'll win the war. But how did they teleport an entire army onto our shores? They're cheating. The Americans are cheating. That's supposed to be our thing. So they are going to cause some damage, which is unfortunate. But they're also going to capitulate very shortly here. But how did they do that? Jesus Christ. Remind me to keep the Navy up at all times from now on. Goodness. Talk about scary. The economy will recover if we give it a few months. Let's bring the home army, you know, home. In hindsight, maybe we should have kept the home army here, but I didn't think they were going to be able to invade with only 30 ships. Except, one, we didn't set up a defense for in case they did invade. And then also, perhaps more obviously, number two, we didn't really plan on them being able to teleport over 100 battalions onto our shores with only 30 ships that can't even carry them. But what can I say? The Americans are full of surprises at times. At times. I like to think they just teleported everyone over at once and didn't care about the fabric of the world. Yeah, this is going to take a bit to recover, huh? That's okay. It'll recover in time. Although, the ongoing wildfire, which I am going to blame on the Americans, is probably not helping the infrastructure. The 22% reduction in infrastructure is pretty bad. Yeah, that kind of hurts a lot. Should we invade the Bayang government? Well, it depends. Are they... I mean, I guess it wouldn't be hard to invade them. Half their states are cut off, so they're just starving indefinitely. Well, so this is still starving. It's been starving for 14 years now. It basically doesn't even have a population anymore. That's sad. And terrifying at the same time. No return state. How lovely. Glass is still expensive. Less expensive now, though. It's humming along fairly nicely. Go ahead and build up Ireland a little more. God, they've got so much wealth. It's obscene. We'll have to take some of it later. I say that, but I don't know if we actually will. Yes. Because you are not one of the ones we want to be using. I think you were... Yeah, you were an admiral. So there we go. More of the Navy is run by the actual army now. Oh, no, don't do that. Fire else. Ah, anti-Russia lobby. That's always good. The Americans, after losing another war with the British, have decided they're just going to straight up invade France. I don't think I can join this. I'm pretty sure both sides hate me. Yeah, the French are hostile. Not surprising, given what we did to them. Still funny, though. Maybe we do invade the Bayang government. They're in... You know what? Yeah, they are in default right now. So what we could do is... invade a few areas here. Probably Western Guangdong as well. And then just primary it. Trying to stay below... we might go over 50 infamy soon. I'm just trying to make sure the Germans don't break our treaties. Because I like being able to trade with them and invest into them, and that's probably what's funding a lot of our upper strata, huh? Yeah, that's probably what it is. All right, let's start converting the Irish, because I'm a terrible person, I guess. Oh, I see. When they fully took it over, we lost our little... Ah, okay. I didn't know you lose... I didn't actually know that you lost your decrees in an area if it became fully controlled by the enemy. I did not know that. That is actually news to me. How many English do we have here already? 454,000. Excellent. There's 90 million. There's already 90 million Englishmen in the world. And we only have 25 million. So I'm curious, because again, it doesn't show us. What does this do for the armed forces, the officers now? Ah, a nice increase, another like 2,700. It's still going to be mostly servicemen, but getting a lot of these servicemen to be officers is going to help our goals. So would be growing the army, which I guess we should do soon. War propaganda. Well, that doesn't sound problematic at all. I can't imagine where that would go wrong. At all in the future. Do we want to research? Yes, malaria prevention. We do want to research that. So now officers are making up 0.5% of the population, and given enough time, their clout should grow. What I think we'll do next, the home army should probably grow further. The problem is that we've kind of recruited pretty much everyone we could find. But we might use the home army as kind of a home guard army. And we'll just build up the American army for the Americas. I guess the Corps of Royal Marines could use additional Marines. Yeah, why not? I hear the Irish are good swimmers, but I want to give the Scottish a seat, so to speak. Good, they didn't surrender at all. Makes this easier. It'll be over soon. Just close your eyes. It'll be over soon. Okay, now they've had a few ticks here. They're at almost 8%. I don't know if they... Well, they are recruiting more pops now as well, so that is going to decisively change that factor. How much of the population are in the army? 3.27 servicemen, 0.55 officers. That's pretty good. See, I don't want to switch off freedom of conscience, though. It's actually good to have, in my opinion. If I kick them out, we lose the journal entry, but that's fine. I don't really care for it. Don't necessarily want the trade unions, but we can utilize them. We make a ton of money once we're not actually building or investing into anything ourselves, huh? Could always invest into more opium. It just creates a lot of unemployed when we do that. Then again, opium. What do our... You know what? This technically will affect everyone, but what do our servicemen need the most? Clothing and fruit and then groceries, apparently. Yeah, so it's going to just be a wage thing. I assumed that's what we were going to run into, is it's just going to be a wage thing in the long run. Yeah, once you have access to several hundred areas to invest in, the game really does not play nice anymore. Even though we're not even into the 1880s yet, it just does not play nice with that stuff. Oh well. Has Russia begun to modernize yet? Nope, still serfdom, still traditionalism. We have all of Texas now, at least under Mexico. So that's a lot of cotton plantations, which J&P Coates apparently has a sizable stake in. Not that I mind. Hopefully France doesn't lose... Oh, they just gave in to the US. Okay, well. That's fine too, I suppose. You know, it's okay. We could reduce taxes. Oh, they just broke apart and became their own state. Cool. Although reducing taxes would benefit everyone, not just the armed forces. So let's grant... I may as well give them Portuguese, the Portuguese Western Guangdong at some point, but I don't care for that right now. That's a good chunk of China directly under our control. Oh, they have 2 companies that invest in tea now. Why would you do this? AI, why would you do this to yourself, you fools? Arrogant fools. Oh, wow, why is that salt chance so high? Because the landowners control everything now. There's a very angry peasant movement, though. Maybe we can utilize that in a stall. Ah, they just said no. Okay. I figured they were going to say no with how big the stall chance was, but I had to try. There was always a chance they would actually say yes. Let's go ahead and establish the West Africa subject state at this point, because aside from taking over people, it's not going to go any further. We could... No, that does cause you to be a slave state. Immigration and colonial settlement. I would actually like to make it a new chartered company, if that's okay. They have access to things like Zeppelins, too, so they'll do pretty well. Commercialized agriculture, extraction economy. It'll go pretty good. And control all the way over here to the Niger Delta. Very nice. And that combined with the other subject we had down here, too, I think. No, there's British Senegal and British West Africa now. Oh, dear. It's split between two of our subjects, technically speaking. You know, we have a lot of money now, so I could actually do some nationalization if I want to. Well, definitely the privately owned American company. We could... How many financial district modernizations will this take? 155 million. I don't think we have the gold reserves for that, do we? We have the credit for it. But that might be a bit too much debt in a small amount of time. And also, some of the stuff we'd be privatizing is not inherently worth it. Productivity-wise, a tool workshop nationalization is what I'd be looking for in that case. Kind of make this targeted. And I know that this is going to be only companies, and I think we'll just have to ignore that. Then the glass works, the other one, and we'll leave it at that. The idea here is that we're reducing the number of industrials. Their clout went up. What do you mean they got more money? Oh, because the parties reformed, didn't they? Yes, the parties reformed. I was so confused at first. I was like, what do you mean they got all the money? That doesn't make any sense. But it does make sense if they happen to reform into completely different interest groups. That would do it. I also realize this does mean the naval administration is mostly just servicemen. Yeah. Yeah. Why do you guys love fruit so much? I'm not complaining about it, but you guys seem to really love fruit. Giving the industrialists more is probably not the best move here, but... Oh, well, I guess. You know what? If they really love fruit so much, why don't we invest into some more bananas? We actually could make some ourselves, but... What is this? The Eastern Cape? Is the Eastern Cape using... No, but it is bullying people and they're working on the plantations, so that works too. I must say, banana plantations seem to be really good lately. I haven't paid too much attention to them, so it's actually possible they've been very good for a long time now. And I'm only recently noticing this. It could also be they've just always been that good, and I've just didn't take any note into it until now. We could make a lot of fruit over here, actually. I mean, I know we want dye, but let's build up some. Let's cause some unemployment while we're at it. Cause some chaos. What's the worst that could happen? Everyone dies, but, you know. Oh, well. The Red Scare. Sure, we helped them spread their propaganda, and now we're going to drag them out of the streets, kicking and screaming. Because that's just the kind of terrible people we are, I guess. That's why it rains here all the time. In the land of Britain. I do mean much of this in a joking state, of course. I am not serious about any of it. Now, excuse me, I know the power block sound can be annoying. That's why I usually don't build. If Of Hanover loves England so much, she should live there. That's why I don't do the power block that much whenever I'm doing recorded runs and streams and whatnot, is because it's, the constant spammed noise, I feel like, is just going to be a bit too irritating for a lot of folks. It's not what I would call particularly fun. So I try to kind of avoid it. Yeah, the industrialists have a lot of clout now with wealth voting. Which I assumed was going to happen. I would actually like to switch us to landed voting. Or an authoritarian structure like oligarchy, but there's just not any political movement for that. So we're probably going to have to start fiddling and messing with the movements here as we go. That won't be too difficult. I mean, they're technically the third largest. It's just everyone else is even bigger. He's an opium addict. Is all your clout from wealth, or is it... it's kind of a mix of wealth and voting. Mostly wealth, though. But the nationalizations did knock the capitalists down to about 26% of political strength. They were over 30% earlier. You know what? I also, just to mess with them, would love to destroy the aristocracy. For no reason other than just aristocracy. And I know, that's a lot of debt we're going into for no good reason. But, on the other hand, destroying the aristocracy is funny, and I would like to see what their numbers fall to. Well, they're still going to exist initially, but now they're unemployed and have to change their class, so... Some of them, at least. Not all of them. There are still going to be aristocrats, because I think... They should all be full capitalist ownership, right? They are. So they probably have overseas investments, and I think, because our building registry is only... domestic? No, I have it located for everything. Where are the aristocrats, then? Are they just clinging on to their life, perhaps? See, that's actually a good question. This is a good time to use census data while we let the game play in the background. Oh, right. Subsistence farms. How could I forget? We've not fully utilized our agriculture, so they can still technically exist that way. Of course. Silly me. I guess that means we do need to invest into some agricultural production to destroy them later. So how are the banana plantations doing here? They are being exploited, which I did expect. Very good. Wow, 71k for 40 levels is not bad, honestly. And what is the price of bananas? They have barely shifted, actually. Imagine with automatic irrigation, it wouldn't do too much more. A good company would do a lot, though. A good company would do a lot. I know if we're not, like, continually building, eventually they're going to start... the capitalists are going to start owning things again. Oh, right, you're an extraction economy. You can't build into motorized industry. I forgot. We banned you from doing that, didn't we now? Yeah. Yeah, that's right. Silly me. How could I forget? They're not allowed to own fancy things like steel mills. They're just meant to extract indefinitely. Pious fiction. Why are you all upset? Because they just don't like us, that's all. That is my arbitrary excuse as to why they don't like us. Is just... They just don't. Simple as that. There we go. We're colonizing much faster over here now. So it won't be too long. How long do these take again? A pretty long time. They're very expensive. Usually not really worth it. The trade unions are causing problems as well. Which is pretty unsurprising if you think about it. Could technically grab regulatory bodies. Or we can just not worry about worker rights. We'll probably deal with it at some point. I don't want to switch away from wealth voting because I feel like that's just going to give the laborers and other groups are just going to get more clout instead. And that's not really on my list of things I want to do or cause, given what our goals are. But, yeah, no, we won't. We'll just have to get more troops. So you know what? I think, again, just more. Just more of everything. The colonies are doing increasingly well. We can always rely on their investments. What could go wrong? Actually, how much are we getting from diplomatic pacts now? We could probably start getting more from the Raj. I don't think they have a debt issue. Do you have a debt issue? We can technically check that. I don't think you have a debt issue. No, they don't have any debt at all. They're actually doing very good then. But what is your liberty desire like? Pretty good, pretty good. So we will restore subject payments in that case. And that's going to give us a bit more to boot. Government dividends are doing very nice. Which reminds me, we probably want to... Obviously, we need corporate governance at some point, but central planning would go very good right now for the dividends efficiency. So we're switching to a command economy, but that goes back to requiring an authoritarian system of government, which we currently lack, in case you haven't noticed. Oh, goody. It looks like the Americans are having problems in their subject. Coup in Russia. What, did the landowners coup themselves? I guess they did. So that means they were attempting some kind of modernization project. They are on tenant farmers now. 10th largest GDP with all the GDP they lost. The German Empire economy is kind of going now, but we own 16% of it, almost 17%, so it's not too difficult to guess what's kind of happened there. Prince George of Hanover, he is significant now as a major general and historical character. But yeah, it looks like they're just not really getting votes in these elections, which is unsurprising given how few of them are actually armed force members. And that in turn is probably causing them to suffer a little. What can we do to change this? Probably not much right now, except growing the army, which we're already doing, and giving it very high wages, which we're already doing. That's 17 standard living now, so that's good. It seems like fruit would be a fantastic investment. Now, maybe I shouldn't be investing so hard in fruit to the point where it is denying us other potential staple crops that we could be making instead. However, it is also a very funny idea, and so I'm torn between the two. You can't make bananas, so you can do something else. That is to say make tea, except we're at minus 33%, so I guess not. Opium is good. Opium is cheapish. Oh, yeah, see, they own overseas stuff, too. I don't know if I can nationalize that. I don't think I can. Because it's technically not mine. Yeah, it's not mine, so I don't think I can do anything about that. Wait, if you're at 85, why are you at 65? Is it just a difference? Or are they doing a decree here? They're doing a decree here. That's what it is. Okay, that makes sense. So, Bihar actually has access to a lot of coal. We'll use that to get more coal, because coal got a little expensive earlier. It's also because, again, extraction economy. I don't know what else to do there. I do. I'm just making up stuff as I go. It's all in your head. Don't worry about it. I don't want to read about the areas that are underdeveloped. Don't give me underdeveloped regions. Give me our most developed provinces. Those are the only areas I want to pay attention to. He says. Our tool workshops are investing almost as much as our financial districts now. Although, granted, we also knocked our financial districts down a peg. Oh. Oh, I have not... Hey, I actually have not seen her before. Well, I also don't really play Britain that much, so that's probably why. That would kind of do it, don't you think? That'll help get the feminist movement going, which... Well, going more than it already is. Which should work out very well for us. Suitable offer. Colombia is antagonistic. But I could probably convince them, you know. Sway and swindle a little, as it were. We can also make Chile. Do I want to make Chile a subject? You're not doing anything, really, are you? Not really. Yeah, why not? We'll map paint a little more. Yay! More map painting. Also don't need their investment rights anymore, but that's fine. How are you doing GDP-wise? Fourth largest. Well, you also have 200 million people, so I would expect you to be better than most. 14% success, 0. If I could get you to agrarianism, that would be a step in the right direction, at least. The 15% from... The 50% reduction in market access price impact would be gone, which would be good. Switching them to trench infantry wouldn't really give them any more money, would it? No, it wouldn't. It would lead to NCO incorporation, though, for the barracks, which is good. But that's what, level 5, yeah, 5th era technology, so we probably don't want that just yet. We could get electricity. Probably threshing machines for the Irish rye farms, at least. That way they employ less pops. And, of course, we're going to use better fertilizer methods, because why wouldn't we? Oh, I switched my ownership over. Very good, little thing there. Yeah, it gives us more farmers, less laborers, but that's probably the better thing here. Because think about it, less laborers. Yeah, more farmers, but yeah. 4% of the population are in the army anyway. Between the servicemen and the officers, they technically have about as much clout as the shopkeepers combined. They just, the servicemen can't really vote, you see, so that's a bit of an issue. They're at a base wealth of 17, and they need to be at a base wealth of 20. So I guess just more fruit. After we're done building up all of the... Well, the coal mine, if the coal mine can recruit, but slavery might be having a bit of an issue there with that. Yeah, extraction economy does benefit it here. You should be able to benefit with tool workshops, right? Should be able to build those. Those aren't heavy industry, yeah. Because I'm thinking of outsourcing some of our production. That way more of our pops can be, well, you know, soldiers instead of anything else. It'll also reduce the unemployment in the Raj, which is probably a good idea anyway. Close to achieving our ambition. Well, yeah, it's just all of Africa has to be colonized before the journal entry finishes, which... Good luck with that. Technically doable, but I wouldn't count on it. Especially if we're the only ones really colonizing the whole area, I guess, but oh well. So how many Englishmen exist now? We have almost 30 million, and globally there's 105 million Englishmen. East Bengal is almost more English than it is Bengali. Spain offers... So I don't want to agree to that, but I do actually want to beat up the Americans a little. Okay, so I have to take something here. I can't just... Right. Wait. What is this war happening over here? What are you going to do? Liberate them both. So they're actually going to lose those subjects. And this is a war to enforce investment rights. I'm not joining this. You started this war. You deal with it. Look, I was on board until I realized there was no point in fighting the war, and then I wasn't on board anymore. Up to the point where, like, yeah, I'm ready to go beat them up. I was on board until it became clear there was no point in fighting this war, and then I was just out. After that, I had no interest anymore. So we're going to heavily invest into India here, which means we are going to heavily build that up. Our construction, that is. The Army of India should be based in India, right? You probably could use some more soldiers, right? How about we give the Welsh new rights to join the army? They didn't ask, I know, but I gave it to them anyway, because we're just that generous. And also, I need more people to go fight in my wars for me in case anything goes wrong. You know, just in case. We import so much iron that it's actually extremely profitable. Why do we import so much iron? Oh, you know what? It might be because we haven't really been investing into the iron mines. And we need a lot of it for our steel mills. So I guess that's the cause. Okay, they've rivaled us. You know what, France? I hate you too. I hate you too, I guess. We're just gonna hate each other forever. That's how it is. That's just how it's gonna be. We're at 255 million GDP now. If we include ownership, it's almost another 200 million. We own half of the British Raj. Who would have guessed? Wow. Wouldn't have been surprised at all. Thankfully, with a lot of their pops now being Englishmen, their qualification generation is doing better. But they have enforced the caste system, which is not great. It does kind of mess with a lot of that. Have you gotten agrarianism yet? No, but you have a 38% success chance. The modernization movement's helping with that. Oh, you guys really need to ban slavery. I mean, yes, it makes a more profitable system, but in the long run, slavery just isn't great. And having a lot of... Well, I guess debt slavery can be phased out by just giving better standard of living in the long run. So maybe we don't actually need to force that issue. Oh, yeah, who's trying to revolt? Pashtuns? You could probably get a National Guard. A secret police would be better, but a National Guard would probably pass easily. And that would at least give them a tiny bit of stability. The liberal movement also likes it, so... You know, one less angry group against them to worry about, I suppose. Our reinvestment is also just going through the roof. Partially because of the companies, partially due to domestic ownership of industry. And officers are almost 9% clout. They almost have more than the aristocrats. The aristocrats have fallen a fair bit here. We almost need more universities. We are technically getting some tech spread, so we could bump up the universities for that, but that would mean more academics, and I don't know if that's something we want. Establish colony in Equatorial Africa. I think I'm going to wait till we've colonized a lot of it, because if we do that now, they're not really going to have the colonization capability for those areas. It would just kind of go wrong. It wouldn't work out very well. How are we doing, lovely Irishmen? We are slowly converting. Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. I am half tempted to enact ethnostate because of the amount of Englishmen that exist now. It would cause, I wouldn't say some rioting, but it would definitely cause some discontent. Oh, we won't do it yet. You know what? We do have a lot of authority now that a lot of these are 30. Wait, why is it 30? What trade did you get? Ambitious? Wait. How cheap are these? 20. Wait. Why is it so cheap? Why is this 29? Is it just because... Oh, because Big Ben. Big Ben is probably doing it. Yeah, 1% throughput. Yeah, that would make sense. Oh my god, that's so much... That's so much that we could just plop down. 75 there. So you're telling me I could do... Because, like, what, 10 of this is 300? I could pop this down everywhere. We could pop down the national... Oh, the national one everywhere as well. We would get more Scots, too. I do think for Ulster, for example, we're actually getting more Scottish there, I assume. Because it's more prominent in Ulster. Yeah, see, here at Ulster, they're simulating into the Scots because there's more Scottishmen than there are Englishmen. So that makes sense. You know, that makes a lot of sense. Manufacturing would go really hard for us. Then again, we're doing overseas manufacturing as well, which is why I'm only a little reluctant to do it. Just a little. How are the tool workshops doing? Because we have a lot of expensive tools. They're only now coming online. Okay. That's fine. Oh, those are some just amazing power block statues, though. Like, let me tell you, those are some incredible power block statues. But, you know, it does mean we have more authority to convert more of India, including the... Well, I think Ceylon is... Oh, it is English, actually. It's only 1 million people, though. I really don't care as much. See, I care about the bigger areas. That's what we're looking at here. I guess we can use it on the home counties, at least, to convert... more pops to Englishmen. You know what? I'm sorry, Welsh, but we have to convert you to. It's just how things have to be. You all just have to be converted. We are making a fine amount. We're making more current dividends than we are in dividend taxes. Man, why did I ever stop doing government economics? With our, methods. Our methodology, so to speak. Okay, so let's do the following. Central planning, government, corporate governance, probably straight to macroeconomics. Then again, I really would like to get NCO training. It's just going to be 8 years, and I'd rather let the remaining third era techs kind of tech spread to us over time. I'll take that just because it gives us more feminist movement stuff. And that sounds good to me. You guys really need to make your own party. You know, militarized police force is something we definitely need. That might actually be a better technology to go for. Which requires us to get central planning. So we're actually en route to that. Fantastic. Popularity contest. Whatever benefits the Armed Forces Party. Whatever benefits them the most. I don't think we're going to get the armed forces to be as powerful as we would like for them to be in the long run here. Yeah, the bourgeoisie and the industrialists have all this power under wealth voting. And there isn't enough strength to switch off from it. I did mention cracking down on movements, but we don't really have a movement that would want more authoritarian measures right now when it comes to the voting system. Well, technically there is the communist movement, I think, right? Or is it the socialist movement? No, the vanguardists are what I'm thinking of. That's right. The vanguardist movement is what I'm thinking of. I guess the industrialists can be added for a time, just so they're not as upset with us here. Civil service deactivated. How unfortunate. Shrink that. Oh, you don't have your leader anymore. So we'll just have to promote you with a new one. Hey, they've jumped up to 10% at least, so it's not all bad. It's still very bad, though. Let me think for a moment. Oh, overseas investment will help at least, because that will reduce... as long as we don't let it privatize, it will at least reduce our domestic capitalist size. We could try to stop building, but then the capitalists will invest more, so... We're going to kind of just keep investing anyway. Are we getting... Yeah, because of their moderate turmoil. Well, nothing you can do about that. If there's turmoil, it's just going to happen. We've got, what, 5 more months on construction? Banana plantations are finally going up. Home affairs are doing well. That's recruited at least 175,000 pops in both of these, so unemployment is still wildly high. They just, gotta deal with it somehow is all. So much fruit. Oh, right, you probably don't even have... You do have the infrastructure, you just don't have the market access. Yeah. Oh, did the National Guard fail? Or did you just not do it yet? I guess you just didn't do it yet. Yeah. I think we've got... Yeah, we have government administrations set up as well. We're kind of just waiting for that all to finish here. And the Army of India is recruiting new units. It's just taking time. We could get more naval administration. Those just tend to almost all be soldiers, servicemen. But that's fine. They really just love fruit so much. How much is fruit for, like, our food security needs? 41%. Okay. Okay, yeah, sure, why not? You know what? If they love fruit so much, why don't I build another 100 of them? I wish I could build power block statues in my subjects, because getting the 25% decree cost would be really nice. But unfortunately, we can't do that, so I'm stuck here thinking about what could be. Which is quite sad and unfortunate, but oh well. Not everything can work out, I suppose. Do we even have... Wait, why are you at war with Messina? Because you're going to annex them. Do you have the army to win that? Oh, you very much do. You very much have the army for that. In fact, we should probably reduce their payments as well. Just so they don't go bankrupt, given how small they are. See, pump jacks, aniline, so we can make dye. Mission to act... Nope, that gives them clout in some methods. Make the armed forces like us as well. The French are now having a positivist revolt, who I don't think would be willing to be our subjects, but if they did, that would be extremely funny, and I would throw everything in there to make it happen. 67. What are your interest groups? The armed forces and the intelligentsia. Okay. What if I just put them in power without making them the only power? See, it's still not enough. It's nowhere near enough. I don't think you could get it, could you? You know what? We might be able to get it. Let me do some shenanigans here really fast. It's going to cause us to have radicals and whatnot, but let me mess with this a little. Because there might be a way. We're going to France. Which might make it a little weird with the Germans later, but oh well. Oh, I see we can teleport across the Western Europe channel too. That doesn't fill me with any good feelings at all, but okay. Where is the rest of the army? Because I know what the Corps of Royal Marines is here. The Mediterranean is also here. I feel like they shouldn't be able to do this. I feel like they should actually have to... it's probably because it's all considered Western Europe. It's like the same zone, quote-unquote. So I guess that works. Anyway, we'll reform the government back to what it's supposed to be. That did cancel the Our Nation, Our Cultural Journal entry, but I probably wasn't going to finish it in the end anyway. It just gives, like, the fascists and ethno-nationalists a better chance to appear, last I saw. Maybe it's changed a bit in the latest patch. I don't know. I'm going to assume not. But what I do know is we're going to make France our subject state. You know, we could cut the bureaucrats. Well, I really wouldn't want to make them upset with me if I cut their wages. Could just get more soldiers. 4%, 6, 9%. Army of India. We should make, I think, one additional army now, and that's just going to be, I know there's what, the home army. We'll have the home guard as well. And these guys, they're just meant to stay here. It's just going to be infantry, and they're meant to just dig in here, and they're going to stay. So the next time we're at war with someone like the US, they can't just surprise invade me by sea and completely destroy me. Well, nearly destroy me, I should say. You have no admiral. Why not? There we go. Now you do. Weird how they didn't have an admiral. Are you guys bankrupt at all, or are we just that good? Yeah, you did declare bankruptcy 3 years ago. So that's all it is. They just declared bankruptcy a few years ago. There we go. We have France as a subject now for this nonsense. Oh, so you do need supplies, though, which you apparently didn't have any of for a while, but... I don't know. It's... game's weird. We just have to deal with it, I guess. And then, of course, you're going to get another... Oh, I assigned him and then unassigned him because I clicked the wrong button. How fun. Okay. That's about as high as I can get you. But you're significant in your prominence, which I think is, what, 4%? Because you're what? Your name is Herbert? All right, Mr. Herbert. Where are we? Well, you may have traits that are affecting this, huh? Yeah, there you are. 5% from prominence. Isn't a lot on its own, but it adds up at least. Fruit is now only minus 13% base price. Jesus. So expensive. How much more transportation do you need? Are they building a lot here? They are building a lot of transportation. Let's build more. Probably because they don't have the better variants for transportation. So it's not doing too well. 252,000. And I only own 39 levels? Oh, because... I guess I wasn't paying attention. I had that set to privatize at some point. Oh dear. So we could have owned a lot. Instead, there's now a bunch of counties that own it. So these aristocrats are here forever. Oops. Oh well. Well, that would explain why the aristocrats have managed to cling to their clout, even though we bought a lot of their stuff. That would kind of do it, actually. It does mean we're actually missing out on a good deal of dividends, too, but I didn't realize I had overseas privatization on. You know, bit of an oversight, slight mistake and all that. Ooh, ending taxes would be fun, wouldn't it? Let's actually go ahead. We'll drop to low taxes. Why not? It will make everyone's standard of living go up, but the hope here is to get them from their 17th wealth to something higher. Oh, their needs are actually just too high, huh? It looks like it's furniture. I mean, we could technically make paper, but furniture is usually the bigger demand for household goods by the end of it. And while I'm going to build some at home, I do want to build more abroad as well. The idea here is to try to get their domestic unemployment to be less problematic so that they don't have any civil wars. Or at least any potential civil wars kept to a minimum. Countries in conflict. Where is culture overview? Yeah, so, oh, there's one English majority state there. There you go. And the others are pretty close behind. That's nice. Russia backed down to someone. I don't even know who they backed down to. The United Baltic Provinces exists. Austrian subject. Think, oh god, the Archduke von Habsburg has just been killed by us. Oh wow, they really are trying to push for ethno state. Remember how I said I wouldn't do it, and then they kind of barged in and said I'm doing it? What, 15 legitimacy? I mean, it would raise full acceptance wages, but it would make everyone else not accepted. You know what? We'll see what we... You know what? Why not? Let's just burn this... We'll burn this popsicle stand down a bit. Before I do that, though, we're at war. I can't. I'll have to do that later. I was going to say, before I continue this... Radical revolt. Where? Oh, on the island, right. Yeah, that's a little annoying, isn't it? I don't think establishing an ethno state's going to go well. And I didn't want the journal entry done anyway, so that doesn't really matter to me. Ah, they're not in government. Right. Putting you in government makes it unstable, though. Oh, but I can make it contested. Okay, hang on. Let's give you some political concessions. I know that's going to eat 50 authority, and that sucks. But we're going to try to give the armed forces something here. Something to bite on. And work with. This does mean the Irish are going to get immensely upset with me in the future. And I guess we'll just deal with that when it happens. It's an atheist France. Yankee migration to Leinster. 48,000 to just Leinster. Oh, it's a lot of Yanks. It's a lot of Yanks. Convertible Yanks until we enact ethno state. We can still use the greener grass campaign decrees, though, because since we are pulling in pops from India who are English pops, they will still be able to migrate over there. Maybe not in big droves, but with so many of them having been converted, they will migrate over there over time, at the very least. In fact, it's passing along quite nicely. We could have been doing the political concessions as well, but since they cost authority, I wasn't really keen on using it. And later on, we're going to have a lot of this get expensive once he's not ambitious anymore. Someone else comes into power. But this will also give us, I think it's, what, another 100 authority? So in the end, it's actually plus 50 authority. So, you know, it works out in the end. And it does mean the Irish are going to be pretty discriminated, though, huh? They share a heritage trait, though, so surely they'll get something out of that, right? Yeah, they'll be at plus 20, and then if they follow the correct religion, which they should... So they'll still be discriminated, but I think it's going to be rank 3 acceptance? No, I think they'll actually be at rank 2. Yeah, they dropped pretty quickly. That kind of passed way easier than it should have. Technically, the armed forces didn't want it. The armed forces don't want anything, so it's like, eh. It will increase the fully accepted wages, which will help some of them. Not all of them, but some of them. Recently went up. I assume that your wage... Well, normal wage is going to shift, actually, in a potentially positive or negative way. But since they're fully accepted pops, some of them will have a better wage, at least. But what does that put the Irish to? Yeah, so there's no longer any second-class citizens. We have a lot of pops that are under cultural erasure now, like the Irish. But they are assimilating to Protestant, which would push them up. They're just going to be particularly upset about this for some time. Not that I blame them at all, of course. I'd be pretty upset too if I suddenly got a wage cut and I was being treated worse just because I'm different. Well, the Army of the Mediterranean's lost their general. Promote you twice, why not? Just because we can. And because we can, we shall, for no reason at all. Officers and servicemen really didn't get any higher, but, you know, oh well. Yeah, it looks like they can still be officers, but they're under cultural erasure, which is not particularly great. Man, even when they're filthy rich, they still want fruit. They're not even obsessed with fruit. They just really want fruit. That's just how it is for them. They just want the fruit. Oh, they didn't get agrarianism. Unfortunate, but it's all right. It happens. Guessing our company owns all of this now. Yes, they do. We're still not entirely away from coal being expensive-ish. I can't believe I messed up when I was making the fruit plantation here. It is kind of funny that I messed that up, though. Kind of one of those moments where it's like, why did I do that? But it is also amusing to see really rich aristocrats from fruit. Just fruit, nothing else, just fruit. I guess subsistence farms, too, but would you really count that? Does mean everyone in Africa is extremely discriminated, but I intend to hand that off to someone else later on and make it their problem. So, yeah. They are starting a forced nationalization against their own subject. Always found that to be strange, but, you know, oh well. I think we'll just keep making supply ships, because we do need a lot of them. Oh. Well, can't say I didn't see this coming. Kind of glad we didn't spend our infamy. I was sitting here debating on what to spend the infamy on next, so I am kind of glad the Americans did this. It makes my decision way easier. Where is Colorado? Ooh, Provence. You know, would be good to take Provence back. This is Mexico. Here you are. Here's Mexico. I'm not seeing... Maybe I'm just blind, but I'm not seeing Colorado anywhere on here. Ah, there it is. American Colorado. Okay, that's why I couldn't find it. Let's take Louisiana as well. And then, do we want to take anything else? It is going to push our infamy up a bit. Wyoming, why not? That'll be a couple states. And I don't think the Americans are that much of a threat now. They do. They can mobilize a lot of troops. We'll move an army over. We'll have the Home Guard stay here as planned. Unsurprisingly, now that we kind of got our infamy up there, some people kind of broke off. It's not that surprising when you think about it. And the French are now a puppet, which has also made their subjects our subjects. So that's cool. How much are they giving us, money-wise? Almost 60k. Not as good, but not as much investment, so... Oh, they're a technocracy. Very cool. We'll see how long that technocracy lasts. Spoiler, probably not long unless we help it in the future. Oh good, the revolt's over. Just time for me to get into another war and not have any way to distribute land. Great Plains tier increase. Probably because we have all the troops over there now. Ah, right, yes, the, Okay. It's because whoever was protecting here is now the one who actually brought the ships over here, yeah. Where is the Navy? Oh, they go all the way back over here. Nope, that's the 12th British Fleet that we've been ignoring. Plymouth Station is still just over there. Oh, I guess they just came straight back. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, they don't really have much of an army at the moment. And it takes time to mobilize troops. But I think some of their troops are elsewhere. Ooh, yes. 30% to the Whig Party, which the... Oh, man. They just have a lot of wealth clout, don't they? With the voting system, for what I'm seeing. They have a lot of the eligible voters in their pocket. Did we ever switch... I assume we did, but did we ever switch? No, we did not switch to publicly traded. I know that is going to give the capitalists more wealth, but the idea here is that it just eliminated a bunch of shopkeepers. Which at least means the bourgeoisie are going to have to split their clout with the intelligentsia instead of just hoarding it all. Not going to do much, but it's something, right? Oh, they're led by a jingoist now, no longer an ethno-nationalist. Well... Guess they had to change their mind at some point. They're at negative momentum. If we can get another good negative momentum event, we could cripple them pretty well here. Average serviceman pop is getting a little welfare. Oh! This works too. 30% momentum. Not quite enough to get up there. But it is getting closer. It's getting better. The 1888 campaign. It's a mouthful in of itself. Let's go ahead and jump straight to mass surveillance. Normally, I would do other techs like get to macroeconomics. But considering what we're trying to do here, it would be best to go for the thing that's going to benefit the armed forces more. And companies. Let's just switch to available. I'm not going to sift through 100 companies that I can maybe get one day if I try hard enough. Haven't really considered what we want. We've just kind of not been doing the food combine for once. We actually don't need the birth rate. And I'm... Honestly, this whole banana thing is so funny. I kind of wish I could get the banana company. But that would require an incorporated state that has bananas. And I haven't incorporated various states like British Guatemala. It would take 14 years now. So that's not really something that could happen. You know, why didn't we incorporate those states? I guess I... wasn't sure if I'd maintain control over them or not, or if I was going to give them away later. Okay, not incorporating the Suez is just silly. And then I forgot about Panama, but that's a different story. Putting that aside, we could get the Suez Canal Company for free money. It's not really worth it, though. I could get the Tool Workshop Company, but we make so much money from it that I actually want to maintain control. We already have coal company. I think it's what, coal, lead... No, coal, iron, lead, and steel. That's right. There's the motor industry. Army speed's always fun. The home county shipyards is fun. We could also look for a specific thing we can design. Furniture with wood. We already have wood from another company. And the plantation one would only be good for, like, overseas investments. So there's not too many companies to pick from here that I would really want. I guess we could do the munition consortium. High-grade explosives. It's... Well, actually, with the amount of military troops we're making, a 10% reduction to their goods cost could actually be pretty beneficial. Or just fertilizer, because why not? Okay, in that case, what about attainable companies? Those are like, we can pretty much build them. It's, or at least we own the state that could make it. Oh, is that? That is merchant marines. Okay, that is not what I thought. So any British state, strategic region. Oh, do I technically own a state over here still? I didn't think I did. Although that wouldn't really benefit me too much in the end. That is the one problem here. It's like, oh, wait, where do I own 4 of these? Jamaica, British Panama, Bahamas. None of those are incorporated, right? Incorporating. Oh, it wouldn't even give us prestige bananas anyway. The only way to get that is, yeah. It's kind of sad that we lost the East India Company. I would have... Personally, I would have loved to keep it, but obviously things did not go as we would have preferred. You know, I usually don't do the munitions consortium. We'll go ahead and do it. I usually don't do it. It's not a company I ever really look to. But you know what? We are going to do that and even give them... Well, sulfur, obviously, and monopoly rights over explosives, because why not? I'd rather... I mean, I'm actually going to hold the event and let it time out. I actually don't want to benefit them. We're going to be cheeky and time out the event. Usually I don't, but we're going to do that this time. Yeah, I guess the 10% military cost reduction could actually be good, given how big we are making the military, so to speak. We have too many Lancers. There you go, problem solved. All fixed. All better. So the Tories still win in the end. It's a new ambitious person who's an experienced political operative. But what's funny is that even though they won, the other groups have enough clout that I can actually just sideline them anyway. And I'm going to do that because I think that's funny. And that's led to the Christian Party forming, I guess. Or at least may have had an impact in its formation. Why do you want to form the Christian party? Corporatist ideology. I feel like there's more to it than that, but... okay, sure. Corporatist ideology, we'll go with that. Oh, yes, we have split America in two. From two different directions, no less. That's actually really funny. How fast are they losing war support? Not quickly. That high fervor really is slowing it down, huh? Well, that's fine. It's just more time to burn things down and kick the Americans in their shins. You know, if they're not coming back to the Empire, we can at least make sure they don't have the capacity to threaten the Empire by burning all their homes down. Isn't it wonderful? It's not wonderful. I've been told it's a nightmare scenario over there. People are dying in droves. But that doesn't concern us. Maybe it should, but it doesn't. So they're what? They're one wealth point away from actually being able to vote in the elections now. So they're almost there. They just need a little more of a push. Or better wages, I guess. That would probably help too, but, you know. Wages, smages. They don't need money. They do. They'll kill us if they don't get paid, but who's going to tell them that? You know what? I actually think the Home Guard... Sorry, not the Home Guard. Yeah, the Home Guard. The Home Guard, because I have two of the names now, needs even more troops. In fact, I'm willing to believe they need 200 skirmish infantry to protect the homeland. Good luck invading then. Can't build motor industries in India, but I think we could build them over here if they haven't run out of pops. Are you Canada proper now? You are Canada proper, finally. I'm sure the journal entry closed for Canada's formation and all that. I just never noticed. Kind of busy, I guess, with everything else going on. You know, just kind of overlooked it, went right over our heads and all that. Got a third of our, almost a third to a fourth of our expenses, just military goods upkeep. Look, we feed these consortiums lots of money. Telling you that much, at least. How much of this is actually military demand? More of it is pop consumption than demand, surprisingly enough. Up, the Americans went into default. So that just ruins them further. And Mexico gains several new states. Not big or anything, but, you know. We stole it from the Americans. That's good enough for me. Sorry, reappropriated it from the Americans. We didn't steal anything. If they tell you we stole it, they're lying. You know what? We're not using it yet. Let's just switch all the rail transportation on. We're already having unemployment issues at home. Even though this is going to cause a bit of a kerfuffle when it comes to railroad or transportation costs. It's okay. In fact, this is a good opportunity to start using more motors for public trams. Not only because that's an automation tech for urban centers, it will cause them to generate more transportation as well at the cost of motors. So, all in all, not the worst case scenario for them. Even though we're still going to build up transportation anyway. I know our economy is fluctuating right now, too. That is not surprising. More and more of our pops are being recruited into the military, and the military doesn't generate goods. So they're not making anything for us that would be, you know, helpful. Oh, the journal entry's not done. Weird. So instead, we're just offloading more and more of it into our subjects, which we own a ton of levels in. And we're using them as our source of revenue instead. Especially these banana plantations. Government reinvestment has never looked so good. If I hadn't sold like 100 of them by accident, it'd be even better, but we don't talk about that. Except for me, because I'm salty at myself for doing that. Do we have a lot of sulfur? Do we need more sulfur? We don't have a lot of sulfur. So we could build it up more. Oh, yes, the modernization movement probably wants you to enact something. Well, I mean, you did not... Okay, well, what can we help you do that they would enjoy? I don't think you need land reform, do you? You actually do need land reform, so... And you are actually led by a landowner modernizer, so this will be a very easy end of serfdom in our part of China. Good, good. Okay. The Indian national movement has now begun. Which I've never seen it finish because the AI always, you know, sucks at it. So I never see the end of this journal entry. It just kind of always exists. Because they need to research political agitation, which is never happening. So, there's probably going to be a pretty big revolt at some point here, and we'll have to put it down. Because of the Indian national movement. But the good... Oh, yeah, it's going to become relevant. Eesh. Although, I think the English pops don't join it because they're not of the culture, right? It's actually a good question. Indian national movement discriminated against nationalism and pan-nationalism technologies. Yes, yes, English pops cannot join it at all. So all the pops that we've turned into English can't even support the movement. It's still going to get a lot of support, but hopefully that is not going to be a severe amount. We could appoint a governor. Should we appoint a governor? Who's in charge? Charles Caning. I mean, yeah, I guess that's fine. Leave him in charge. He's not doing anything terribly wrong or dangerous to our rule, I would say. So there's probably no harm in letting him stay in charge. 4.5% officers now. Sweet. How is it currently progressing? I assume it's progressing towards 100. No, it's actually dropping. Well, that's fine by me. Not that it seems to really do anything. Well, it probably affects events, doesn't it? Socialist revolt. I did say it probably wouldn't last without our help. The technocrat, the technate state, I should say. I mean, it's already revolting. I don't think it can do any more than that. Let the Welsh movement die quietly. Yeah, the Irish national movement is upset. That's pretty unsurprising. They're slowly getting converted, though, but it's unsurprising that they're so upset. Oh, we've almost got them towards powerful. I would like to get them to powerful before this video ends. But evidently, wealth voting is not going well for us. I think we're going to let construction kind of take over here. And just pay off the debt. I really couldn't care if you get invaded right now. Well, I won't let them take too much control. I am going to keep building up the military where I can. Oh, you are not a member of the armed forces. Please leave. You are not a member of the armed forces. You are not permitted in this premises. Thank you very much. Come again, never. You know what? I think we need 100,000 more servicemen in the capital for no reason. How much of the capital is servicemen now? It's actually fallen because of all the other constructions we did, but they're almost 10% on their own. So we'll get mass surveillance in about 4 to 5-ish years. Hopefully pass militarized police force, which probably doesn't have a lot of support for it. Actually, it's got plenty of support. That would give the armed forces a 50% bonus since we have it at level 5, and we're going to keep it there. That's on top of all of this, so it may not push it too much. But it will help. If I could get more concessions for them, because at this point I'm willing to just throw some political authority out for that, it would also be good. But I don't have a lot of laws I want to pass towards that I can change. Just because of who's in the government right now. Ooh, we could kick the industrialists out actually now, which they won't be happy about, but, you know, oh well. Social monarchy. Oh, mass conscription, actually. Ooh, mass conscription. It'll attract fewer servicemen, but it does give political strength to officers. Is it? Oh, that's less than professional army, though. Fewer servicemen can be a problem. I know that with attracting more non-servicemen and officer pops, it's a very simple change, and it may not be worth it as a result. It just takes the not discriminated and makes it 25 instead of 12.5. So I don't think we'll do that, because it technically is worse for them. Is there any... Well, yeah, let's maybe exile the... Oh, is that Victoria? Yeah, oh well. Bye, Victoria. See you never. You know what? She's old. It might be her time. Just don't tell her that. She won't be happy. she's trying to come back. Forced into obscurity, yeah. We need to end the liberal movement somehow. Forcing her into obscurity is a pretty good way to do that. Alright. So, our population's growing pretty nicely. Not that we need it to grow well. You know what? Another 200 servicemen. Another 200 naval administration, I mean. We don't need it. It's expensive. It's a waste of money. And that is exactly why I'm going to do it. Well, technically, if more of our pops are getting paid a higher wage, that should raise the national wage, right? Right. Ow. Accidentally hitting the mic again. Don't do it on purpose. It just happens, you see. That being said, actually forming a subject down in Africa might be a good step. Give the Cape Colony more land. We'll go ahead and form Gabon now. It's got a good amount of territory. Now, their colonization speed is going to be less, but the key thing here, and the reason why I wanted to wait for so long, is they have malaria prevention, which is good, because that means they will actually be able to colonize it and not just choke and die. So while their colonization speed might not be anything to write home about compared to ours, it should be good enough. And my hope here is that that will actually change the national average of wages, because now all the heavily discriminated pops are no longer being employed. So in theory, they should get paid better here. It might not change at all instead. But that's what we'll find out. And the private construction, I think, is mostly abroad. It's kind of 50-50, kind of here, kind of there. Probably because we are getting a lot of migration here, too. Some of it is emigration of our own pops who are migrating from elsewhere, so it kind of goes back and forth, almost like a feedback loop. Yeah, 18% in the home counties are now servicemen. Oh, just imagine if they could vote. Maybe I should switch to census suffrage at this point. Although servicemen are only 6% of the population, so that might not go well. Yeah, they're even starting to have financial issues. Is it just the household items are getting more expensive? Not necessarily. Not where they are, at least. They're actually struggling to hire for it. Could lower taxes again, too. Which, yeah, why not? We'll just do that and we'll see what happens. Maybe it pushes them over the edge. Yeah, some groups at least. Other groups not so much, but, you know. No, all it really did was make sure they wouldn't lose money. So I think we'll just stay on very low taxes. The dividend tax is probably better. I guess we just need more food. So, you know what that means? The breadbasket of India must be further developed. Even though my advisors say it will cause a crippling depression of unemployment and mass starvation, I'm not listening to them. I'm just going to do what the armed forces want. And the armed forces want more bananas. Allegedly. I don't know if this is true. I couldn't ask. They keep shunning me whenever I go to the door. I'm kind of locked in my room, you see. They only let me see sunrise every once every 2 years. As long as I give them enough guns. Yeah, I figured you're going to be upset somewhere. So, you'll go to an agrarian economy easily. You are technically on debate for extraction. I would like to make Anhui here an extraction economy, but for now we're just going to try to get them to agrarianism because that will improve their market access connections, and that will make it a bit better in the long run. It's not perfect for what we want, but it works for what we need. Oh, why is... Oh, you know what it is? I don't think it's me that's setting these to be privatized, because I know for a fact I did not have these banana plantations set to privatize. It might be the subject is doing that. Now, I could be wrong, and maybe they're not doing that. They have also just, So, well, actually, it's good that they turned off the rail transportation production method, because now they can hire more people. And arguably, that'd be better. The wages are so low, it's going to be much cheaper. The slaves notwithstanding, but I guess there's also the slaves, so. Yeah. The Great Garment Factory Fire. Oh, the landed gentry were targeted for this. Cool. Get rid of him. It's whenever I get that event, it's pretty much always the capitalists, the industrialists, because they usually have the market liberal and whatnot. But since the landed gentry still had him at the time, they're the ones who got smacked over the head instead. How convenient. I don't like what's happened to Russia, even though I'm the one responsible for it. Oh well. Oh, you know, the French, we could invest a lot into winery. Oh, it's actually extremely cheap here. I guess there's always just food to make them into a second bread basket, but... Oh, I say bread basket, it's more like fruit basket. Oh, why did you turn it back on? You turned it off, and I don't understand the AI when it comes to that. It's going to cause a 25% penalty here. Like, why? You know what? I will just build up the rail transportation here, and then you can deal with the mess. If it causes a problem, it's on the local government. Blame your local government. Don't blame me. That's what we'll be telling folks, at least. They'll never listen, but, you know, we can hope they will. We can only hope that one day they'll listen to us. Have you actually fallen down in standard of living? You have. But your wages shouldn't be going down. They are going down. Okay. Not what we planned for, but that's all right. Well, it might be because all the Irish are being discriminated against. Yeah, I do see there's turmoil here now. They might be getting paid pretty low wages. Yeah, it looks like they are. So maybe after this, we'll get nitrogen fixation and mechanized farming to modernize the farms further, get rid of the lower paying jobs. That might be what we're at now, is we have to get rid of lower paying jobs. Oh, rotary valve. In order to get them higher average wages. Of course, we could also enact institutions that would force a higher minimum wage. That would probably help too. I know regulatory bodies would pass with relative ease. What, we're 13 months on that. We could try to pass this anyway and give the armed forces more political concessions? Sure. That doesn't guarantee it'll pass, mind you. But it has a chance to pass, and we'll try that while we're waiting for the other law to finish. Or the tech for the law to finish, I should say. We have even more here, it feels like. Oh, well. The Tory party actually has the armed forces in it now, so I don't want to remove that. Although that means the bourgeoisie are going to have more power, huh? Oh, well. Everyone else is kind of out of government now. Can I bribe you, or... Wow, that is way too much saving. I mean, no, if I promise it and then I don't do it, we're going to suffer penalties for a long time. Vow to pass monarchy next. Nah, these just aren't happening then. Tory party is almost... Oh, because they have negative momentum still. Yeah, and then the servicemen still don't have enough wealth to join, unfortunately. They're really close to it, though. They've gotten really close to it. Public address grows awry. Yeah, this will probably fail with how high the stall chance is. We could take more of their stuff. It's always an option, right? It's mostly because the companies, the ones that are making a lot of money here. One of them's over 1 million, the others aren't. Could have gone for the ambitious trait, but I want to try to get the Tory party to be above water here. And that's going to require a few things. Christian party is not really as much of a threat to everything else. Home army, why not? 30 there. 30 here. We're just increasingly employing the population into the army because that's just the best way to do this. Officers are now the top 3 for clout at the moment. At the moment. Almost more of our money comes from subjects than it does government dividends now. How nice. Righteous government is nice because it'll at least get this to pass faster. And the stall chance dropped because the industrialists are less discontent, I guess. Obviously, that is why. German Socialist Revolt. Ooh, I love that red color. It looks so nice on you. You wouldn't happen to want to, well, yeah, that would hurt the armed industrialists. Oh, we're allied to the Germans, right. Might have forgot that minor detail there. I don't think they would accept us. Ethno-nationalist industrialists with communist trade unions. Well, that's weird. It is going to pretty much kill the Red Scare journal entry, though, because they're going to start their civil war, they're going to die, and then that's just it. So they are going to kind of kill it. Are we tolling you? Oh, I guess theoretically, in a hypothetical sense, we could be tolling you. I don't think we really are using tolls. At least not the ones we have. Yeah, because I don't think, I mean, trade is trade. I just haven't really been investing to it this game with all the pops that are our subjects. What finished spreading to us? Probably a production tech? Yeah, it was a production tech. Vulcanization. That gives benefit to a lot of rubber plantation potentials. Also killer wood demand, though. It's probably not critical for us to invest into right now. Ooh, look at that. East Bengal basically has... Well, it still has a lot of peasants because of their tenant farmer stuff. 110,000 fruit. And the price is still astronomically high. Look at that weekly balance, though. They're not even using automatic irrigation. I feel like it would be better without the road carts, though, but what do I know? I don't own the place. I apparently don't know better. Yeah, your needs need to come down. I mean, basic food needs have gotten cheaper. I think it's just that they aren't getting paid enough is what it is. I think that's all. And ethno-nationalist probably doesn't make it any better because a lot of the pops, like South Germans, are getting paid less, and that's probably just mucking about in the background. So, Joseph Chamberlain. Oh, any relation to Neverland? Neverland. The other Chamberlain. Sorry, my brain is fried a little. I haven't eaten today. Probably should have eaten before I started recording, but oh well. We live with what we get instead of food. That being said, I would like to focus better. Ah, militarized police force. Excellent. Fantastic. We probably get those. I might change my mind, actually. We might... Let's grab political agitation, because I could get outlawed dissent then, and if we could switch to single-party state later, that might be good. Although that requires the armed forces to get stronger. They are almost powerful, so they are getting there. We just have to keep manipulating everything. Just keep manipulating it all. What could go wrong with a little manipulation, you know? You guys going back up in your standard of living, or you're kind of just down? Oh yeah, how are you doing? I assume you're building a lot of tea plantations, right? Yes, you are. Have you finished passing? You have finished passing agrarianism. Good. Can you get public schools, maybe? Just to improve education there. Solely to improve education. I do know the engineers working in the arms industry, they do partially join the armed forces. Not by too much, but better than other areas. So our constant investment into the arms industry does pay off a fair bit. We are getting English pops to migrate over here still from India, so that's why we're still getting pops. Animal rank impact, okay. Man, I really don't like it when that happens. The constant revolt noise, it never ends. Stall chance, almost 90%, I guess what you want public. How much clout do they have? 60%. Goddamn. Okay. Private healthcare it is then, because I'm not telling them no. Jesus. It's an awful lot, don't you think? It's an awful lot indeed. I love our reinvestment pools just being fueled by all this. Okay, the armed forces are now powerful, which does mean they want to form their own patriotic party. So, enjoy them being powerful while it lasts, because they're trying to shoot themselves in the foot. That being said, it is time to militarize the police force, which thankfully doesn't have a lot of opposition to it. Cripple the trade unions a bit here. Do the armed forces have any leanings towards any... Well, 6% authoritarian. I guess that would be kind of helpful. We really should promote the reactionary movement more. If we could get them to be stronger, that would help. High literacy, really. Interesting. Oh, I guess, yeah, pamphlets, reading, and all that. You could make some use of that. That'll give them, what, a 50% clout boost? Yeah. The rate this is going, it'll probably stall out somewhere for a little bit, but it should pass remarkably well, for the most part. I don't really need to build the Navy up more, but I have a lot of ships, so maybe I should anyway. Or a lot of sailors. But it wouldn't give us anything additionally, you know, it wouldn't benefit us in any way. Just trying to clear that, and I double tapped. There's a lot of wars breaking out all at once. Oh, good. Our companies are invading the natives still. Don't you just love that when your companies do all the invasions for you so you don't have to do anything? What do you mean that's bad? Constantine still exists. I actually didn't realize this. Interesting. Oh, Vandeman's land has actually been colonizing finally. Thank God. Last I checked, you guys were having an extremely difficult time, and it was going to take forever. But it looks like they finally have colonization speed for most of it. So that's pretty good. Yeah, most of it is overseas now. Good. That's what it should be. Average pop is secure here. You're, what, 18 still? I guess transportation being very expensive here doesn't help. I don't feel like that's the cause, though. I feel like that's just a symptom of a wider issue. They're building up the tea plantations. I don't need to invest into that. There's no need to invest into it, I should say. And then, I guess you could actually be tobacco. Well, technically opium would work, too. I know they want tea, but our Chinese territory is making all that tea, so it doesn't really need it. Or are you 80%? Yes, you are incorporated. Okay, good. Good. Are you at minus 28 then? If you're at, well, I guess, yeah, 80%. It's unincorporated. I see. It's because of all the special effects the area has on it. Yeah. All right. Well, just move on then. Just move it on. Just keep it going for the time being. Oh, that wasn't too hard to pass. So that did jump them all the way up to 25% clout. So the armed forces are getting up there now. I don't know if it'll get higher with all the voting problems we're having. Although that being said, after we get political agitation, we could try to push for the NCO training. It won't take anywhere near as long now, so it's much more possible. But it would take 7 years to get it from where we're currently at. That would give us more officers, which is the whole idea behind it, is more officers. And just using those officers. 6.17, it's technically fallen. I mean, they can technically hold 50 more divisions before they cap out. That's what, 50? Yes, good. Army of the Mediterranean sitting on a tiny island. In the Americas. Hey, we just gotta get more people in the army, that's all. Until the population grows too much, I guess, but we worry about that at a later date, not now. Sure, 30 prestige, I'll take it. Oh, Persia's being invaded by the Russians. Well, you have fun with that. I'm gonna pretend it's not happening. Instead, we're gonna spend 32 infamy to annex an entire section of China. And short of suddenly greatly increasing their prestige, they can't stop it. Technically, someone could come help them, but do you really think someone's going to come help them? Because I don't think so. Could get more construction. It's just all that's going to be feeding into private... Oh, that null state's annoying. Private ownership later down the line, which may not be particularly favorable for us, given our goals. Still something that can be done, though. Yeah, okay, at this point, I just need to kill clothing costs. Fruit is already as down as it's going to be. So, let's just add some more recruitment. Well, the lack of employment may actually help cause certain fluctuations. Yeah, I guess more tool workshops will go well, too. Oh, Spain's become a republic. That's neat. For them. Oh, I mean, that means they've followed in our footsteps, does it not? In a loose way, yeah. So these are all republics now against the German Empire. I say against as if the Spanish were in the Empire with us, but they're technically an ally. So are the Germans, so this is irrelevant. Gold discovered in California. Well, I know a few officials who would love that. Equal strength from vote, authority. I don't think the fascist movement can form yet. I think it needs mass propaganda, but I believe they can appear. Although whether they actually will appear is a different matter. Does give us the feminist movement, though, which is very beneficial here. Because now we can get the armed forces another political concession to buff them up even harder. Oh, yes, we can still colonize down here, can't we? I did forget about that. Go ahead and do that now, then. Transfer it all later. Obviously, our economy is not going to do good as we keep employing people here into the army, but our ownership abroad is quite nice, especially all the government ownership within it. Oh, good, they have level 5 law enforcement, so they are at least keeping the peace, so to speak. I want to check real quick on the banana ownership. I know technically its value has gone down because the price has gone down. But yeah, they make so much money from it. It's kind of obscene in a way. So when is our next election? In 1896? I would like to see how that unfolds before we stop. Having a higher workforce ratio would improve everyone's standard of living in the long run. So that could be good. Do see we're starting to miss out on some unrealized taxes, but that's fine. I don't care too much for it right now. What else? We could get machined steel tools. We do actually have rubber already. Someone is already using it in their tool workshops. Yeah, why not? It'll improve payment in the long run. Yeah, we could do that. Right? We just need to deal with the fact that there's yet another revolt going on over here. They annoy me to no end. I need the actual navy. You know, I've just been building up the armies for the sake of getting more clout. Probably should have reminded myself that I'm going to need to make a bigger navy if we keep doing this. Because otherwise they're not going to have the transportation capacity. And then we're going to be very upset about that. I don't think... We have modern ironclads now, right? I'm pretty sure that's spread to us. Yes, so we have protected cruisers and modern ironclad ships. Patrol boats are not bad. Landing... 20% naval invasion efficiency is something I need to test, but that does sound very useful. It doesn't say it here, but the fire control system improves their readiness. Not sure why it's bugged out not showing it. Promotion, sure. A social democrat. Sure, why not? Because we can. And once the war ends, I should be able to transfer that land back over to our subject. Steel frames until we're no longer controlling it, I guess. Successful coup in one of our subjects. to install a pro-British government. As if it wasn't already loyal to begin with, but okay. Yeah, it's just like this little area is revolting against the rest of it. Oh, they've subjugated the Far East. And the Fengtian clique. Well, we control more of China in the end than they do regardless, so... Not too worried. Oh yeah, there we go. Vanguardists can start spawning now. They probably won't see them, but they can appear. Actually, more likely to just spawn more ethno-nationalists because they have such prominent roles. Such very prominent roles. Oh yes, can I actually go ahead and transfer? Yeah, second Grand State, good. Let's do that right quick. Oh, nope, that's take state. There we go. Who will this hurt? Sure. I love how the question isn't what will it do, it's who will this hurt. That's not the questions you should be asking. But yes, thankfully they are incorporating all the states we give them because they are homeland, so it's pretty easy for them to just incorporate it. Are we going to do this song and dance again where you attack me to get something, lose, fail miserably, and then bully someone else because you're upset about it? Because that seems to be where this is heading for the 5th time. I lost count. I honestly, we might not even take anything from them. We're just going to beat them to a pulp. Which I hear works just as well. Arson attack. A prominent opponent of voting rights for women has been targeted in an act of arson by prominence of its cause. Well, it hurts the intelligentsia's clout, so we're gonna do that. Just because. Fringe group violence. We have plenty of success. There's no need to shut that down like that. We are on agrarianism. We are on agrarianism. We're on tenant farming as well. You know what? Proportional taxation. Tax more money so I can take it from you, even though most of your pops are probably still peasants in the end. Yeah, they are. That's fine, though. So, I assume, yeah, the Patriotic Party is doing bad because it's only getting the armed forces stuff, and that's it. So, it's going to end up losing a ton. Well, how much are you getting from... Oh, it's all from wealth. None of it is from votes. Okay. I am on board again. You know, I wasn't in, but I'm in. I think, oh, because they joined the Charterist Party. That's why it's not working. And they now have an ethno-nationalist leader. Oh, funny. Give them more clout. What else do you want to pass? You don't want to pass anything. Who wants to pass outlaw dissent? Guess who's going to support outlaw dissent because we give them yet another political concession, even though it's going to kill my authority later, and I'll be very sad about it. The rising of the women. I wish we could get an event that buffs the Patriotic Party here. Got 100 days. Could happen. Might not. Alright, and now we upgrade all units because I'm insane. Don't want to even check what that's going to cost me. Good. That will actually hurt the Charterist Party substantially. Yeah, less than 10 million can still vote in the end. Oh, some society tech finished spreading to us over here. It went to appear as soon as no, I'm gonna hold the event. We're not gonna let the Patriotic Party sink here. We're gonna mess with it by every means necessary. The Patriotic Party must gain whatever votes it can. The Charterist Party needs to sink as much as possible. Oh wow, it sunk quite nicely. Entrenched front, we need a breakthrough. So I'll probably get it in, what, the 1900s exact, judging by the time. So that'd be pretty good. I'd say for kind of hands-offing the economy here at this point and just letting it go, it's actually doing pretty well. Pressing issues, yes. I am abusing the electoral system as much as I can. So, the armed forces are not the one in powerful and in charge. Well, they are powerful, actually. They're almost the most powerful interest group now, so that's good. Did lose a lot of authority since we lost our ambitious person, though, so anyone in opposition is going to be really upset at this point. But that's their problem, not mine. And they can send in a notice of complaint if they wish to, not that we will read it. Well, maybe we'll read it one day, but just not now. I think it's time to build more government administration or naval administration for no reason. This is obviously not something you should be actually doing. This is very inefficient. We're employing hundreds of thousands of people into a job to do absolutely nothing and contribute practically nothing to the economy other than taking a wage, but I'm having fun with it, and that's all I care about. Also, transportation is wildly expensive here, even though services are dirt cheap. Kind of funny how that happens until you get cars. So I guess the combustion engine is something we should grab next so we can get automobiles. 42. Why does this make so much money? Is it just a lot of pop demand? Yeah, basically, just a lot of pop demand. Very high productivity, too, actually. Huh, why do I have my authority again? Did you grant... Grant? Whatever. No, they didn't gain anything. So I actually couldn't tell you why. Ooh, because the Misri are revolting. The Irish are now attempting to revolt because of their... Yeah, literally, it's just the support of insurrectionary movements. Is why. Literally, it's the only reason why. Well, I suspected this would happen when I enacted ethno-nationalism. Oh, Venezuela did join. Very nice. And of course, with the growing radicalism there, they are very upset and have particularly high fervor. It's also because a lot of them are now being paid wages so poor, they're not doing well. So what we could do is drop taxes. That's not going to help too much. But it will technically drop the minimum expected standard of living by 1 point, which can kind of help, I guess. But I don't need the money anywhere. Oh, you know what? I haven't even been paying attention to the war with the U.S. That's like how unbothered I was by it at this point. I wasn't even paying attention. I kind of forgot it was happening for a while there. Whew. Irish leadership. Surprising how the armed forces are just led by moderates now. I guess that's what happens when they get very big. And movements don't have enough of a control valve over them, or control point, I should say. It just doesn't get anywhere. 27%. The home counties is now almost 22% just servicemen. We also have more officers than we do capitalists now. Although the capitalists still have more money because it's capitalists. Of course they have the money. That's just how that goes. God, I wish we could get a production method effect here. Just to make more officers and less servicemen, but, you know, oh well. That's not happening, so next best thing. Which I don't know what that would be. I do know, though, that I should probably start getting more taxes. I mean, we don't need to collect the taxes that badly, but I probably shouldn't let it go so uncollected for so long, you know? Yeah, 29 base wealth. Can we get them to be the most powerful before I run out of time for the day? Probably not. Probably not. But we'll see. There's not much more to do at this point. I'm kind of letting the game tick along. We could do more invasions, but I'm kind of letting that tick back down. India's at almost 300 million GDP, though, thanks to our investments. And thanks to just controlling so much of the economy, even if they start to get stronger in certain areas, like army power projection. They aren't getting too much stronger. Oh, proclaim a curfew and make sure it's enforced. That's actually something I've never seen before. So you could just put a violent suppression decree wherever this happens and enforce it. And it reduces state penalties from turmoil for 2 years. Hey, you know what? Militarized police force was good for something. Not what we intended, but, you know, it was good for something. Hopefully the Irish don't actually start a civil war here, but if they do, I guess we'll just deal with it. I do need to get off National Guard still, but there just isn't anyone that supports it. Egyptian uprising? Yeah. That should, yeah, calm down the Irish movement because they don't exist now. So we have temporarily lost control of the Suez Canal. I have been assured that everything is definitely fine. Nothing is wrong. Everything's wrong. Nothing is fine. So this is what, 3 years? The India League. Is this because the unrest is growing amongst the League? No, it's still passive. Oh, that's fine. Let's try to get slavery banned there again. Probably won't happen, but we can try, right? What about moving you to extraction? Very opposed. Very opposed. They do have public education now, though. They also got off isolationism. Not that isolationism really mattered for them, but they did get off of it. Can I make you an oligarchy? No. Who's in charge? Landowners, so that's never happening. The Navy's what? All the way over here. Okay, well. You should plan another invasion. Oh, Australia's already invading it. Never mind. I guess the Australians can handle it. Silly me. How could I go doing the invasion when someone else is supposed to handle it? Ah, why didn't I think of that? Abolishing taxes would be funny. Funding an army with just the empire. We're technically already doing that, but no taxes would kind of solidify that. How much more fruit can you build here? None. So this will be the next fruit area. And yes, we're devoting all of our construction to it, because why not? Oh, you know what? I guess it's just on by default, and I'm just not paying attention. Oh, we can fix the construction efficiency reductions here. Just give them more jobs. That doesn't solve anything. I'm just being silly. I don't like any of these options. There we go. That's much better. Someone for the armed forces. Outlaw dissent is passed, so that will give them a bit more clout. Gives us some authority, too, or at least cuts back on the authority we're missing. Can't really end child labor because the industrialists are too powerful. Could enact child labor. Just could enact it. I mean, technically we could still do taxes if we absolutely have to. This is gonna abolish what? About 500k if we're willing to just corkscrew the math a little there. That's about roughly where it would end up. And I could probably get them to negotiate on that. Oh, they actually oppose this? Oh, in that case we can't do it then because the armed forces wouldn't like it. So, I technically can't do it because my armed forces would be upset, but I could give them more political concessions on free trade. Which, I mean, at this point, we have a position on every continent in the world. Why wouldn't we just let trade flow freely at that point? Also, that'll be enough to make the armed forces powerful without getting the NCO training, but we're researching it anyway. Because why not? Now, you guys could just incorporate your states. That'd be fantastic, but I don't think you're ever going to do that, so we just have to live with the pain of it all. Domestically, because domestically gives you plus 20 legitimacy for 5 years. Oh yeah, ethno-state will actually cause us to get more loyalists per month, really. Oh, the loyalism increases. I see, I see. So it kind of depends there. I was wondering what it was claiming. Alan Young, an ethno-nationalist. Sure, why not? 34% chance an ethno-nationalist takes over now. Or a moderate. It could go either way. Up for election, a moderate or an ethno-nationalist. Ooh. Should have debt, right? So I should be able to just... probably do that, give you this. Because that should improve your relations by a whole level. That makes you more receptive. And we are heading into Austria, ladies and gentlemen. This is just unfair at this point. Why can you... Oh, right. Of course you can do that because we have the German Empire. Of course, yes. We have military access. That makes sense. That makes sense. We're going to have to beat the Netherlands up for this, but it will make all of Austria a subject. I don't know if that means getting Hungary too, but I'll take it. I guess, probably because it's a subject, right? So we might get it. We'll have to wait and see what turns out from it in the end. Ooh, more English than there is Bengali now. How many Englishmen are there nationally? 100, no, sorry, not nationally. Globally, it's at 156 million pops. It's taken a lot of the game and a lot of what we've been doing, but having all these pops be English is definitely good for the Raj's stability in the long run. And plus, I don't need to worry about my pop growth because I'm just making Englishmen over here and they slowly migrate. Please ignore the fact people are starving to death here. They just don't know what a job is. You know, the thing that we took from them by building a bunch of plantations and then not giving them any substitutes. Yeah, that's definitely not why they aren't working. Definitely not. Our trench infantry are pretty good. 52 offense with everything that we have. Technology, armament works, army offense. Of course, the shrapnel artillery is at 82. It's even better. Well, it depends on a number of effects each army has, but you get the idea is that they are really good. Let's make sure to seize that. We have to seize kind of the state that their capital is in first. Otherwise, the revolt could eventually... Well, the revolt has us in it, so unless we fall out of it, we should be fine. Pretty sure the Austrians are already going bankrupt, aren't they? No, but they probably will at some point. So after that construction, maybe we just stop building for a while. Oh, you know, this does allow me to do the Confederation of the Rhine, which is funny because the German Empire exists, so it's weird that I can do that. But I find that amusing. The armed forces are going to see a clout drop because they're dying, but there you go. For the moment, the armed forces are now the strongest interest group in the game. In our game. But I would like to try to get that even higher, so this is not where we would just end it. Especially since we still have things to do, like NCO training and all that, to get them even higher. Oh yeah, we've had the explosives for a while now, haven't we? Which I assume we're using here. We are. Most of it is explosives. 109% throughput. It's so nice. And they're still at 21. Your wealth has gone up, though, so maybe at some point here you'll actually get higher. Why is that at 9.8? I mean, maybe we're just not collecting as much here since I last checked. It could just be that, but I don't actually know. So, Hungary is in its own market. It says, are you independent or are you just like a protectorate? It looks like you're independent. They are independent, yes. The Rhine fiasco, if failed. I mean, it's just Austria. There's kind of not much of a point in doing that. If there was more than just Austria, sure, but it's just Austria, so... Kind of just close that there. Oh, it's atheist Austria because they were positivists. It's funny how that's happened twice now. We're helping to kill religion. Really? 60 infamy to annex all of France. We're not gonna do that, but that would be really funny if we did that. But we're not gonna do it. More authority, please. To reduce our deficit on our authority so people maybe get slightly less upset. They're still very upset, just maybe, you know, slightly less. Do the French need investments? Of course you do. You know what? I need motor industries, and you're offering yourselves up, so I'm just going to build it there. No need to thank us. No need to thank us. Just make sure you work in the factory 20 hours a day. Yeah, I think at this point, it's just transportation's really expensive here for them, huh? How much is fruit doing our food security now? 57%. I invest into more fruit to get the cost down, and then they just buy it up and start eating it. And then it's even more expensive than before. I mean, yes, there are some pops starving in the Raj, and that's probably not good, but, you know, think of all the ones that are gainfully employed. Oh, there's the Confederacy. Kind of a late Confederacy. It's almost the 1900s. I don't mind. It's just, it's kind of a late Confederacy. And you probably are fine enough financially now, right? No, you actually very recently declared bankruptcy. Well, I guess proportional taxation, most of your pops or peasants would do that, huh? Yeah, you probably don't give us that much money now, huh? 105k, I stand corrected. I stand corrected. That's slowly going down. How is Alsace-Lorraine doing? I know it's been cut off this whole time. Well, they're not starving to death anymore, so there's that. Subsistence farming will go a long way for them, you see. They might just barely survive yet. When's our next election? 1900s? February 1st, 1900. So it's going to happen before I get the NCO training done, I'm afraid. Little unfortunate, but that's okay. I wish I could see what the next, like, threshold is for their income increase, but having the game track that and tell you in real time would probably be way too much for no real gain. There wouldn't really be a reason for the game to do that, and I don't think it would benefit that much in hindsight. The Patriotic Party is what they're a part of, right? Yeah. 11% of the votes now. That's not bad. It's not great, not terrible. Try to increase our production of transportation here to maybe push some of them over 22. But I think the election will be over well before that. That being said, they have been slowly growing in their workforce ratio, which is actually decreasing the population here because there's less dependence, more workforce. But that's normal. That's normal to see. That's how it works. People are entitled to it, even if they're wrong. I see our new Austrian subject has immediately decided to piss off Spain. And if I do nothing, they're going to lose territory. So, I guess let's just switch this treaty around a bit. Give them a toll exemption. Kind of funny how you can do that to get out of it. You know what? I did want to seize the other half of Gibraltar. So Spanish all riff it is. And there's nothing Spain can do here. What are they going? They're literally surrounded by us. There's nothing they can do. Oh, you've lost your general at some point. When did that happen? Oh, have a new general. They're just lying around. We literally just found them in the ditch. Oh, 30% armed forces. Very nice. Only downside is all the notifications you get. Oh, the Germans have stabbed us in the back. Who could have seen this coming? Who honestly could have seen this coming? How could they stab us like this? This is actually a pretty good opportunity because it means I can use the French to not only get all of their states back. They're our subject now, why not? We can actually use it to seize... Oh, we could have gotten the Rhineland as well, but that was a bit too far off. But German Wallonen, sure, why not? Los Altos? Oh, I guess. Why not? I don't think they'll back down to this either. Do think, because we're facing the Germans, I was going to say we should bring troops home, but that's not going to happen. Because I didn't build up the Navy enough for it, like I said I should. Ooh, that's good. Let's build protected cruisers, actually. What can you get? Oh, you have a lot. Advanced camouflage, minus 15% suffered accuracy. Oh, I see. They would have less accuracy against you. That's actually really good. Build you up, and let's bring you home as well. Oh, are you still like an old fleet? You are an old fleet. I have not messed with you in a very long time, huh? Right, Chatham Station is kind of the one we've been messing with the most. It might be a good idea to start building them all up again. Also, apparently I wasn't really doing any repairs. Oops. Oh, that's a decently sized Confederacy, too. Do we have more? No, you have to get the tech for the maneuvers well before that. Okay. Once we knock out the Spanish, it'll be very easy to go and knock out the Germans. The Germans will do some invasions, but that's okay. That's why we have trench infantry. This is going to hurt the armed forces quite a bit, but oh well. Ooh, is it... what? Wait, did the Tory party win? Who got the most votes? Oh, of course the Tory party won. They got the most votes. Yeah, that's how voting works. But yeah, the Pops are going to die in these fights. But this would be a good way to get chunks of France back, and it'll be under our control, so... Fantastic. I do believe... Well, no, it's actually that treaty's been expired for so long, they could withdraw from whenever they wanted to. Yeah. Oh, that's fine. Alright, first German attack immediately dies. We attack and die, so it's going very well. Oh, wow, they're just kind of dying down there. Fantastic. Wait, are the Germans succeeding in random attacks, or is that just me? Oh, because they have so many general armies over here. Because they can only partake in so many armies relative to their rank, right? Or armies. So many battles relative to their rank. I don't think we'll lose over here, but I'm going to go ahead and just do this. We're going to go ahead and just bring this army unit over to make sure nothing happens. Although, I was going to say, I think by the end of this, they're going to lose all those generals anyway, because, yeah, they are taking some pretty heavy casualties. But we'll bring another unit or unit over anyway, since it is a pretty big war. It is going to result in a lot of officer casualties later. Oh, well. Oh, is this because we're at war now, or... No, better relations with subject, that's all. There we go, we're advancing. I don't have to bring them back, but we might as well anyway. The 200 troops over here in America can kind of police it on their own. We're fighting a regional war over here. I almost did world war. That's technically not true. Oh. A breakaway state that's communist in Russia? Okay. Then I do see we're kind of getting some unwanted guests here from the Spanish. The home county. They're trying to blockade us, so yeah, we'll just set up the fleet like this, and we should start intercepting them soon once they've got their mission efficiency up. But that's not going to go up for a while until their presence goes up. What are the casualties like? Decisively in our favor, unsurprisingly, of course. But it's still good to confirm. Even if they're all going to march to their deaths. And I'm just waiting for it to pass here. Because it's what, 15k? This makes it what, 20k, I assume? Yeah. So it looks like by the time you have the best training method possible, 25% of your barracks pops are going to be officers. 1.24% of the population are officers now. Those are pops that can vote because they have enough wealth, even though their wealth just crashed very hard. We are constructing a lot. If we stop constructing, our budget will be fine again. We could also just raise taxes and eventually... Whoa, there's a lot happening at once now. The game is not happy. Okay. That's better. That's a bit better. No. No foreign investment. Absolutely none. 63%, so it's technically come down, just not a lot. Your money's technically gone down. Oh, well, you're probably a smaller size now, too. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Well, that's fair. Yeah, so the Germans are losing, the Spanish are losing. It's just a matter of this war ending. I was going to say they're still powerful, but all the pops dying and then standard of living changes because of that is not ideal. Not ideal. What's your strength like? Almost 5 million? Well, I guess you're in the capital state, too. 40% from technology. For voting, right, yeah. Portsmouth was defeated. Oh, I guess that's not surprising. It doesn't really have a lot of good ships, huh? The Germans probably invented ironclads and have been using those. Or at least better ships. Chatham Station might do better, but yeah. They have protected cruisers now. Those do a lot better. Oh, I made the generic variant, didn't I? I keep forgetting when you do this, you need to switch it over to that and then tell it to build those. Keep forgetting. Oh, well. Bulgaria's in default. Good for them. Just to take these two states right here, and then the Germans will break too. Oh, more fully fledged colonies. Portugal's gotten larger too with its colony. Yeah, all you need to make them powerful is give them a lot of concessions and build the military up so much that you need an entire empire to keep it afloat because you won't be able to make enough money yourself in the long run. Bananas are getting 266k dividends after efficiency. And almost 500k into the investment pool. Jesus. And they're not even at their highest production potential. And they already make so much. Well, it helps the wages are pretty low in them too, so their profit margins are pretty big. Compared to what it would otherwise be if they weren't that big. Okay, we have all rift now. Just gotta build fortifications there, and then if we want to, we probably won't toll the strait. It's more about controlling the strait. Of course, we could just make the tolls really high to just choke out trade, because we're mean like that. Import so much iron from the Americans and the Germans. We're fighting the Germans, and they both hate us. Could be a lot more. I don't want to be exporting all those clothes though. Not this time. Not this time. Much better to keep it at home. Oh, right. I just realized why their numbers are so different. It's because I was checking a different unit. Have you gone down in your standard living? Well, I guess that makes sense if you've taken a lot of casualties. You haven't. Interesting. You haven't. And it got worse. Oh, I hope they enjoy explaining that before the committee. Where'd all your money go? I don't know. probably how it'll be answered. Very much enjoy investing into the Indian company here. Control most of its wealth too, so although that's its GDP, we technically, if you include GDP ownership, our GDP is over $1 billion. If you include ownership, most of that is just the Raj and then our Chinese puppet. Just need to finish occupying these states over here. Seems like we're getting... Oh, no, that's our attack. I was like, how are we not succeeding in this one, though? Well, it's not our attack, so that's why. Oh, German Wallonen is what we're missing now. I see. Didn't notice it. Have you started a war, or are you being attacked? You're being attacked, so I need to defend you, obviously. They already broke it. Okay. That's fine by me. You know what? Yeah, Greece as a subject state would go nicely. The issue is just actually getting over there. Oh, we could always ask Hungary to give us military access. And they're almost willing to consider it just on its own. But I'll give you a toll exemption and trade privileges as well for it. Because I don't really intend to break through them, so, you know. Yeah. Oh, no, I guess I have to be in an alliance with them to actually do it, huh? Military access doesn't do that. Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, you're too big to do that with. You actually need to be brought back over here. If at all possible. Modern ironclad. Oh, more supplies means I can carry more troops. Even though it's going to be expensive, why not build more? Army needs all it can get, right? Yeah, man, they've really fallen down. All the blood that's being spilled. But that's okay. Yeah, they were like around 29% workforce ratio. They're down to 27. They're at almost 30. They're doing fine. Fruit is now their biggest expenditure. Just fruit. Transportation, fruit. Transportation, fine arts, luxury clothes. Well, at least you're consistent on something. Transportation. Oh, wait, can I technically get... I was going to say, I could technically get there. I can't go through Germany anymore, though. That's why. Probably should have taken Württemberg and Baden. So we could actually reach it. That's fine, though. We can still end this war. There we go. French borders have been restored, and then some. Oh, their GDP's really been going up ever since they became a part of us and got invested. So I know we had like a big fight and all, but do you want to be allies again for no apparent reason? Aww. See, the Germans do love us still after we ravaged the countryside and ruined some of their gains against France, who is now whole again. Well, almost whole again. I'm going to need to do a war and clean that up just because it looks awful. Solely because it looks awful. That's the only reason. I feel like that's a good enough reason to do war, though. Just to clean up borders. Your borders look terrible, so we're invading you to fix them. What? Would, definitely be a weird reason to start war in most cases, though. But I'm sure we could do it. So can they... I assume not, but can they have automotive industries? I figured. I'm not that surprised by it. So instead, the French will be used for all of our cars. French cars owned by Englishmen. What could go wrong? Time to be alive. Our population's almost 100 million now. I mean, some of that is the colonization that's going on over here, which we need to convert to subjects again, but war. Maybe after the war's over. Are they going to take both Serbias, too? If you want to, I guess. You technically have a land border through Bulgaria, so... I suppose I won't question it in that case. I don't think any new obsessions have generated. So, sometimes in my games, like a Russia game I'm doing, I see obsessions generate 1 week in, and then other games I don't see them ever happen. In the Russia game I have going on, the Russians became obsessed with luxury clothes about a week or two into the game. Don't know why. They weren't cheap or anything, it just happened. I don't mind. It made the game a bit different and therefore interesting, but, you know. It was also weird because it just kind of randomly happened, and I don't know why. Okay, let's do this a little bit here. The main reason for that is to get the urban centers going better, but also I just figured, why not? We have the authority. I could use it elsewhere, but I'm not going to. I might later, but we're not going to for now. I assume this is actually going to cause the urban center to collapse and fire all these people. Yeah, thought so. Oh, fine by me. We're getting cars anyway for a reason. Oh, I didn't notice that their uniform changes. The uniform of the servicemen has changed for them being trench infantry and all that. I actually didn't notice that. Because I think they had the red coats at the start and all that. Maybe I can find, like, Canadian troops. Yeah, because, like, see how here's, like, the red coats and stuff? And it's got, like, the older uniform models. The Germans probably have their own. Obviously not red. They're not red, but yeah. That's pretty cool. I never really noticed that until now. Because I wasn't paying that much attention, so it probably just went over my head the whole time whenever it happened. Oh, the more you know. Wait, why is it taking... Oh, it's 8.6. I thought it was taking a terribly long time. They just... Most of the points just weren't there yet, that's all. Oh, the Greeks are having a revolt while I try to get them. Well, that's no good. I've got to at least put up a fight. What's happening in... Oh, Sicily's having a civil war. Okay, fair enough. Carry on, Sicily. With your self-murder and all that. Hopefully the armed forces clout recovers here. What I'm really trying to do is get the servicemen to be wealthy enough to vote, but I guess the issue is just the average annual wage is kind of stuck where it's at. I've actually been seeing it go down. I assume that's all the colonization we're doing in the highly discriminated areas. Getting wage subsidies would help, because it would enact a minimum wage. In fact, why don't we just switch these guys out here? I don't think anyone... Actually, yes, the clergy want wage subsidies. And then I can just give the armed forces more clout. There we go. Problem solved. Not an easy solution, but an absolutely good solution. And I guess that gives me reason to increase... Oh, we never did increase the workplace safety office after getting it, huh? Oops. This will increase the bourgeoisie strength. I do know that, but I also want to knock down radical revolt chances. Not the rule folk ethno-nationalist leader. You'll fit right in, bud. Don't worry. See, I told you, you'll fit right in. No worries at all. We do have a lot of loyalists now. Except in mainland Irish areas, which is perhaps not too surprising. Did we ever finish the Panama Canal? We did. It's just not fully employed, I guess. Eh, oh well. Soon as we are done... Italian unification. Oh, Campania managed to separate. Weird. So they've become more divided, not less. I don't think that's what you were going with there, but okay. You're more divided now. 56.2 for annexation of all of India. That is ridiculous. Well, if you could get them to be loyal and make the chance high enough, yeah. Is Russia invading them now? What is happening? I don't want to conquer it, but... I mean, obviously I need to defend you because you're my subject. So I guess we'll just take Manchuria. Where are our Marines? Right, yes. We did need them over there, didn't we? Go ahead and bring them over here. They can fight there. As for those guys, I don't know. Can I reach them? No, I assumed not, because that's just barely split between it. That's okay, though. This does mean we're still going to be in war, so I have to just find a stopping point at this point, because apparently the AI has decided it's going to be a bit too aggressive. Although we established that in the first episode, that they were being unusually aggressive. That aggression appears to be carrying on. So, maybe a while before it actually stops. If at all. I do see our standard of living has gone up to almost 19, though, so it's at least adjusted somewhere and gotten better. See, I kind of wish we had a connection towards them. Oh, yes, they could kill Circassia. What are all their targets? Territory they can't reach, the United Baltics, transfer... Yeah. I can technically add more because I am the nation in charge now. Do we have another... I guess we don't really have another good navy for transportation right now, do we? See, this is the problem when you don't build up your navy to have several that can actually transfer stuff. You, end up in a situation where your army of 250,000 men can't go anywhere. Sure, Spain, why not? I'll agree to it out of fun. Well, we have a lot of pops here now. Where are they coming from? I mean, where were the home counties getting them from? Probably, over here for a while. Yeah, East Anglia. Okay, we are going to find our stopping point for this episode, but let's check on India again. The culture is increasingly becoming more and more English. How many Englishmen are now in the world in 1903 with deaths? 170 million. With 60 million, a little over 60 million being over here in the British Republic. They're still stuck, stubbornly stuck at 21 standard of living. I cannot seem to raise it. Obviously, I need to raise the average annual wage, and we're just kind of working on that at this point. They just need to be paid more. If they were being paid more, they'd have way more influence, but the only way to get that is to make the average wage higher, which is its own issue. In fact, looking into it, our wages seem to be dropped in some areas. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's because I need to make all of this into a subject, but to get all of these to be subjects, and therefore our wages here don't exist anymore. We're not paying people pennies, literal pennies. I need to be at peace, but we keep getting war decked now, so it's just... They really want to murder Austria, who's our protectorate, apparently. Even though their GDP is over 105 million now. Oh, wow. Yeah, why do you have so much GDP? I know we're investing into you. Is it all the tea? It must be all the tea, because we're consuming it all. And I guess groceries. But it's definitely the tea, that's for sure. It makes a lot of money. I know this from a recent Ching game and some friendly advice that it makes a lot of money. Speaking of making a lot of money, our reinvestment pool, a lot of it is just stuff we own. Government dividends, almost 300k from bananas, even after negative multipliers. Anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you all for watching. I hope you had fun, and I will see you next time.